Hello, everybody. Oh my god, he's sitting on the pillow. It's
Hello,
worked.
humans.
He's been debated. He's been foiled. Look at this, Elizabeth.
He's so cute.
Hello, everyone. We were talking about, obviously, my cat. And then Elizabeth will obviously talk about her cats. This is now a cat podcast. I actually don't give a shit about motorsports anymore.
Cat casting.
Cat casting. Hello.
No intro music because we're busy with cats. Sorry.
No intro music,
don't-
dude. This cat was it's causing a little bit of havoc. He's good now. He's chilling. He's on his pillow. He's gotten off my keyboard. He has turned off my camera with when I was talking to Elizabeth and all this other stuff. He likes my keyboard, and I think he just likes being around my hands to pet him.
Yes. Yes.
So, I don't think a decoy keyboard will
I've
work.
taught ours how to sit in front of my keyboard, and then I will wrap around them so that I can still type and usually rest my chin on them, and then they know that they're loved.
Well, we don't have wet race discourse. Instead, talk about cats. I agree. That's the best idea we've ever had in this entire podcast. I don't care about y'all. I'm just here for the kitty. All right, guys. You don't have to be mean about it. Jesus. Jeez. Sheesh. They're all here for you. I think Elizabeth should give a presentation about our cats on one podcast coming up soon. And
We have a summer break coming up.
I just have one cat, so my presentation's pretty short. But Elizabeth has quite a few cats and personalities to get through.
I could absolutely do that. I'd be more than happy to put together a cat introduction slideshow.
Parrot Trek, I subscribed to Ash Vandalay for 25 months, and all I got were these cat photos. Parrot, thank you so much for the 25
All you
freaking
got.
months. Parrot, I appreciate you. Thank you for being part of the community, and welcome back to Vandalay Industries for 25 freaking months. No regrets. That's a good addition to the message. That's so funny. A Cadillac, I know. I also see this Cadillac racing. So working with Cadillac in there for World Endurance on their YouTube channel, they sent me over this hat, which is very appreciative. But also, I like that it says Cadillac Racing on it, and I can be a fan before all these other bandwagon fans join next year. I was the first. That's gonna be my superiority complex next year.
That's so funny. I have Cadillac racing shirts from 2016, from Pirelli World Challenge that I cannot wait to bust back out again.
Oh man, Pirelli World Challenge. It's before GT World Challenge. That is okay. Elizabeth can gatekeep all of us. Gotta find one on eBay or something.
I loved Pirelli World Challenge because there were all of the feeder series that they had always had dentists, and there was one specific dentist who was giving away free toothpaste and big tubes, and he was like, you can have as much of this as you want. So the entire time I was in college, I did not have to buy toothpaste. I just had this guy's toothpaste that he was sponsored by. It was fantastic. I loved it.
So funny. Dentist is a real thing, guys.
It really is. I was like, look at you go. You're killing it.
Sorry, I'm rearranging my windows because so the cat did sit, but in front of the keyboard, but was kind of still a little on it, where I had to type this. That's why my Zoom came so late, because I was trying to type Zoom, but he was under the Z, and I was like, this is ridiculous. Parrot again, thank you so much for the 25 freaking months. Real ones remember Conti challenge? Ooh, no, I don't even know that.
Ye olden days.
Ye olden days. Jesus, Chep, what are you, 85?
He's my 85-year-old.
Panda says I would love a black sock cat slideshow. Agree. The cat stocks.
The cat stocks.
And I'm just letting you know, Elizabeth already has a presentation.
I do. I have my friend Alex came to visit, and we hadn't seen each other in 5 years. So we did a little catch-up slideshow with each other. But this was 2 cats ago, so it needs an update because I've added more to it.
It does need an update. Mark, good morning. Long live New York City bagels. Yes. Pumpernickel, a lot of people have been asking if I named him after the Total Wolf rant, which would be a very oddly thing, I guess, to name a cat against Pumpernickel and rye bread. But no. Pumpernickel is the superior New York City bagel, in my opinion. I also like food-based names. Soy sauce seemed a little cultural appropriation for a white household, so I didn't go with that one. A red collar and a black cat would have been cute, but a little too much for me. There's also toast, but I feel like that's really that's a common name. Mm-hmm. Everyone uses toast. Black cat. Salem's obviously popular, not a food name. So what other dark colored foods? I'm not gonna name bean because that's.
Your name in Pirelli C6.
Yeah. Well, I was joking that we should get different like color collars, and he can be a Pirelli tire for each like
Oh my
whatever the weekend
God, that'd be
is.
so cute.
Whatever the ideal strategy is for that weekend, just give him the collar for that strategy.
I had a black cat when I was a kid, and I named her Black Beauty after the horse.
Whose
I
horse is
just read
that?
that book, and then a black cat showed up, and I was like, amazing.
Life wants me to have. Fate wants me to have this black cat.
You gotta. He wants me to have another black cat, but what did we name the one that was outside? Oh my God, I feel bad that I don't even remember.
What was Sailor Moon's cat's name? It was also a black cat.
Question.
If anyone knows or can Google for us. Ink says H cats. Yeah, but I can't be screaming like Ink. I guess I can call him Inky Baby. So your gradient,
Do
thank you
you
so much for the
have
41 months.
Bottle Rocket? That was his name. The little guy outside, our black cat was Bottle Rocket.
What a fun name.
Do you have 1,000 nicknames for him yet?
Oh yeah, he's Pookie, he's Pumps, he's Pumpy, he's P Dog, he's all the things.
Yeah.
Oh,
We have Gator is G Money,
I
G
like G Money.
Baby, G Man.
I like
He's
Pumps.
so
It's just
cute.
funny.
It is cute.
Or little shit. Yeah, he's a little shit sometimes. Little shit for all cats. Yeah, his original name is Gus. His mama did not name. There's no mama involved. Okay, it's
His
me.
mother, his legal Christian name is Gus.
The Humane Society. It was him and his two brothers, and they named him after psych characters. He was Gus.
Cute.
We're
I
all
like
little shits here. I agree.
I like seeing what like those shelters name their like little groups of kittens, like what the theme
Yeah.
ends up being. It's always so cute.
Yeah, we were gonna meet two. We actually weren't gonna meet Gus that day, so it's fate. We were gonna name a little cat called Remy, and then a cat named Scooch. And Scooch is a great name. Scooch. But Scooch wasn't available to meet because he was a little sick and had to be isolated from people and other cats. So they're like,
Poor
sorry,
baby.
Scooch is unavailable. So we met. So Taylor did a lap and added because you can meet up to 3 cats. So we met Remy, we met Gus, and we're gonna meet another cat named Vindaloo. We met Remy. She was super hyper and she has poop problems. She did they replaced her did poop surgery, gave her other cats. Does this make sense? Sorry, I might maybe describe this right. So she has GI tract problems. So they gave her other cats something so she can resolve it. Someone might know better than I am. I don't know. H Cats is going to be a veterinarian. She can figure this out and explain to the chat what I'm trying to say. But yeah, she has a runny stool. They give you a really intense medical history, everything that's ever been done. They read it off and
Dang.
description from whatever. So that was really nice. Anyway, she was really hyper off the walls. Has the poop problems. A poop transplant. Yes, thank you. And then we met him, and he was a cutie little patootie. And then we were gonna meet Vindaloo, but the Humane Society is we will admit she's decently spicy. She's definitely for an expert cat house. She does love, but she has her moments, and it's still adapting here. And I was ooh, as an actual first time cat owner, I would rather not go with it. I'd rather her go to a house that knows how to deal with it.
Yeah,
Not me.
that makes sense.
I will admit that I am not ready for a spicy cat as my first cat.
I love how drastically different this experience is from mine because all of ours showed up on the back porch. So took them to the vet. They're like, how old is it?
Oh,
I don't know. Any medical problems? I don't know. We'll figure it out as we go. We'll see.
We'll see. But now we got this little guy.
He's so cute.
He's the cutest little patootie. He's currently a croissant and he's sleeping on his pillow.
It's so nice that he sleeps on his pillow.
Yeah, which is surprising. I like that he's away from my keyboard right now.
That is also very nice. You're not actively typing on it though. So
And he needs his napkin before he terrorizes me with his zoomies later. Dude, he played with a sprink for an hour and a half yesterday in the living room, and it was so loud. I'm just trying to watch something in the afternoon to decompress. In the afternoon, I'm not productive, so I like to take a little break at 3 or 4, and then I'll start working at 5, and work to 5 to 6 or something like that. Anyway, just and then he gets his spring stuck in the dumbest fucking places, and he's like, "Oh, what happened?" Oh, sorry, I'm talking shit. I'm sorry, baby.
we have underneath our couch, there's just the graveyard of cat toys, and every so often we'll go take them all out. It's oh look, it's your mouse that you loved. It's your eggplant. Look at that.
Sheep says, I was looking at our shelters page, and there's a separate page for barn cats. That's the kind of area I live in. Oh, that's kind of cute, though.
Same.
They get their little space.
Yeah.
Any medical problems? I don't know. You tell me, says Panda. You brought your cats to the vet. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. Please, you tell me.
I'm trying to play with his paws a little bit more before we have to cut them, but I'm also nervous to cut them because I don't want to cut like too much.
If you cut too much, it's usually fine. We've done it before. We've also had our cats completely, like Joseph, for some reason, when he was sick, he would jump off of stuff and his nail would completely break off. Poor little guy. It'll be fine. Trust me. You are going to nail it. It's really easy. There's a little, like as Chris says, there's like you can see where the blood starts in the nail, where it's a little bit darker. Don't cut that. Anything above that,
Pro tip.
you're fine. Yeah, and then give him some treats afterward. He should be good.
What if I bring him to a vet? Will they do that for me?
They will. They might charge you. Our start is $5 if you just bring him in for it.
That sounds great. 5.
Yeah.
And then the cat can get mad at someone else, not at me.
Yeah. It's not that hard, honestly. Like,
But that's coward behavior. I am a coward. I thought we've established this, Chris.
can you do it with Taylor? Like both of you, you can team up. One
Yeah.
can hold.
Yeah,
One
but
can.
look at the little guy. He's too precious.
Yeah, but this is a bonding experience, and you know that you give him. You. I know it doesn't sound like it, but this is a bonding experience. For you
Bonding
guys.
experience? Is that
Yes.
This little guy's going to be traumatized.
He's not going to be traumatized. He's going to be fine. He's going to know that you treat him well because you take care of him and you trim his nails for him and you do his little pedicures.
His little pedicures. Try a couple times first. Yeah. I'll do one paw. We've been playing with his paws. I think I said that already,
Yeah.
but just in case, we've been playing with his paws a lot. So much for that New York attitude, Doug. Not with cats. I've had a bodega cat. That thing runs the fucking bodega, not me. Okay. It was my parents' deli. It's my mom on the deli name. But damn, if that cat didn't run the place.
So cute.
It was so cute. I gave Cersei a tube of treats and she's Gucci until she's had enough.
Yeah. Just it is not as bad of an experience as you think. They're not gonna like it, but also there is a certain element of like you want them to know that you are the person they can go to when they are uncomfortable or in distress or whatever.
Yeah.
So that they know. So if you do these little things, not gonna enjoy it, but then it's like, okay, we did this for you. You know, you can like teach them that that's a good thing. Can continue on from there. It's a good thing.
Okay. We'll think about it. I don't think they're currently long enough for
No,
we need to right
probably
now,
not.
but I think he's just a fine little guy. Hi, Chandi. How's Cinnamon Raisin doing? Oh, he's doing swell. Thank you so much for asking. How's Onion Bagel doing? He's doing great.
Onion bagel, little poppy seed.
Are any of the nails black? Not that I have noticed. His beans are black. Should his nails be black?
I don't think so.
Someone also mentioned that black cats are never all black, and that is like slightly correct. He doesn't have like patches of white, but like little individual hairs are white. Like he's like sprinkled a little bit throughout around, so it's really fun. Poppy Seed is a elite cat name. That's pretty good.
Cute.
They can be. No, they aren't. They're white nails. So we've been trying to hang out, guys. Welcome to the cat podcast. I don't know what motorsports is.
Cat chat.
Cat chat. Gus is a good cat name. Oh, I don't like it. And I'm not calling him Gus.
Gus. Could be short for asparagus.
Not naming him asparagus either. Shall we get started?
Yes. Let's do our rapid fire news.
Rapid fire news, motorsports, July 29th. Welcome to Elizabeth and Ash. 10-10 wins.
We're here.
You give us 22 minutes, we'll give you the world.
First and foremost, some bad news. Racer Stewart Friesen suffered a very nasty wreck at a dirt modified race in Drummondville, Quebec. So his CT scans are clear of any head trauma or concussions, but he has an open book pelvic fracture with a large hematoma and a fractured right leg, which will both require surgery. And it's not clear if that surgery is going to happen soon and if that will be kind of the only one. So sending good positive energy out to him and his family because that's not great. But it is a good reminder to everyone in the dirt track community. There's been a lot of bullshit recently of people using their cars as weapons and stuff like that to run into other people. Let's not do that because this is what can happen. So our thoughts are with him, one of Canada's finest.
There is a video circulating on the internet. I will admit it is very hard to watch.
Yeah.
He does flip over, the car is on fire, and then someone does run into him consequently because they couldn't just brake in time. It's just
Yeah.
a bad series and it happened so fast. So,
Yeah.
yeah, his wife sent an update. That's also posted in the Discord if you guys are interested to watch. But yeah, much love to his family. It's gonna be rough. And I was being explained this morning by my significant other. He was saying how open pelvic fractures could be super dangerous because there's so much empty space, so it could fill with blood really quickly. So it's really glad that he is in stable condition and is getting the surgeries that are required for his safety.
Yeah.
So much
I
love to his
did
family.
enjoy the update that he was feeling better and more communicative after pain medication, and I
Yeah.
was like, I absolutely would be in the exact same boat. I would be morphine. That would be my blood now.
Yeah. Oh, thank you, HCats. Posted it in the chat.
Yeah. We also have got the confirmed news that NASCAR is going to San Diego. It will take place at the Naval Base Coronado, which is NASCAR's first event on an active military base. Which I know sounds goofy, but Sebring, I believe, was not active when it started, but it was close enough. There were still people living on it and commissioned there. It'll be June 19th to 21st next year in 2026. We'll have all three series competing, and the official course layout is going to come in the fall, so we don't quite know what it looks like yet. A lot of people have been putting their ideas together, but iRacing is going to be involved in the course layout and everything as it was in Chicago. So we should have at least a very fun one.
It was interesting to see the rollout of this. Sheep said they had a Top Gun promo video that was fun. It was fun. I think that was fine, but it's just gonna be so.
It's gonna be
military. The
Yeah.
United States is the best.
Yeah.
America, NASCAR. They want to race like past naval carriers. Nothing's confirmed, and they obviously need to talk to the base of what's allowed and what's not allowed, and things that happen. But it's gonna be yeah. I guess nationalistic. I would say
Jingoistic.
patriotic is a little different. Yeah, it's pretty heavy. The Top Gun promo was cool, but I think, and that was just the rollout, the announcement. That was barely the tip of the iceberg. So we'll see the rest of it. Absolutely. But San Diego, we do love the West Coast. Hope Gavin
Yeah,
Newsom just comes there and fucks everyone's day up.
Yeehaw.
Yeah. What a Giga Chad mood that would be by him.
And Formula E and the FIA have come to a new contract agreement extension. So the FIA will continue promoting Formula E for 10 more years on top of the agreement it has already previously had. So this guarantees that the sport will be backed and supported by the FIA and guarantees that it will be a world championship. It also is keeping its electric exclusivity status, so there cannot be any other all-electric, I believe just open wheel series hosted by the FIA until 2053. That is because the initial deal that the FIA and Formula E had ran through 2038. We have a 10-year extension on top of that with a 5-year option to sign after. So 2053. That is so long.
Why?
How old am I going to be then? I don't think I even want to know.
How old am I going to be then? Will I even be alive?
57?
You said 20,
Absolutely
2053.
Yeah. I'm out.
61? Wait,
I'm
bitching
out.
about Formula E till I'm 61. That's the only. I gotta stay alive. I can't die before this 15-year deal ends. I refuse. I'm living out of spite now.
Awful. Just terrible.
I guess my confusion is, why is Formula E really doubling down? Are they doubling down really on the on their investments already thus far into the series? And they're like, it's a sunken ship theory that they've already invested so much. And it's E, like, we need to started like getting that electrical development and all that stuff around the cars. Are we going to keep going?
I think so. I'm not quite sure. I'm not quite sure, like, what the strategy with Formula E is at the moment in time. What their whole goal is. But I do definitely think that Formula E, it benefits from the FIA because that gives it a certain amount of legitimacy, and the FIA also don't think wants to have a ton of electrification if it can avoid that.
Yeah.
Because I mean, obviously, we have Mohammed bin Sulayem who's pushing for like V8s, and they're looking at the sustainable fuel sources for combustion engines as opposed to full electrification. Um, it's a choice. I'm not quite sure. The strategy with Formula E has changed a lot since it first started,
Yeah.
and it's hard to kind of keep track of it based on who's in charge. And I I don't really know. So we'll see. We'll see what happens out in the future.
Formula E will never be popular, in my opinion. Yeah, this is where my confusion is. Is
Hmm.
that it's clearly not making money or getting viewership. Like, do they assume that by 2053, like we'll have no more fossil fuels on Earth, and like Formula E will be the only way we can race? I'm just confused about like the doubling down, like 15 years, the potential 15 years, 10 years, 5
Yeah.
optional. 10 is a lot.
Yeah.
The
10,
potential of
10
15 is
on top
crazy.
of the fact that the deal went
Yes.
until 2038 already.
Yeah. Is insane. The Formula E CEO is bragging that the 2026 F1 cars will be slow about current FE cars. Dude, that dude opens his mouth so much.
I know.
I know I'm supposed to be kissing ass, but I refuse to kiss ass at Formula E. I
It's a
think it has
lot.
so
I've had a
much
lot of, again,
potential.
I've had a lot of problems with this Formula E management in the past. Like not personal ones, but just like I
Yeah.
disagree with what they are doing in a lot of ways. Where like they had the previous CEO, Jamie Reichel, who was like, we don't want this to be a race. We want this to be like a cultural event.
Hmm.
And so like the racing is just a thing that happens, but we want to attract people for like the music. And I was like, that's a okay, right? That's fine. But also the racing is still like the main attraction. Like that's still you're still Formula E the racing series, not Formula E the event promotion place.
Yeah.
Very perplexing. Jeff Dodds, I got a bunch. I've only spoken to him once because then I stopped covering Formula E more regularly, and he gave very vague answers to a lot of the questions. But that was also like his first weekend in charge, so I don't know. It's certainly a choice.
I think there's great racers. I think there's good racing there. It's just the way they market themselves. Additionally, of all the things I've talked about previously about supposedly they're bigger than NASCAR. I'm like, where? Who's just letting you publish these things?
I know. This is the thing. Like I was 2013, they like announced the concept of Formula E. I was all in. Like 100%. I'm gonna watch this. I remember distinctly where I was watching the very first race and was like religious through it. Went to two races my first season that it existed. I went to Long Beach and I went all the way to England to see the season finale to watch Nelson Piquet Jr. win the championship. Um, it has it was charming at that point that it didn't have its shit together because it didn't need to because it was season one and then we're now into just completed the 11th season and I'm like we need to have I don't know they push it like it is Formula One but it doesn't have the sense of purpose of Formula One.
Yeah, Sheep saying Formula E Mexico race apparently had 11 million United States viewers, which is more than the Indy 500 somehow. Like, sure, bud, that's a real number.
Yeah.
Almost as much as the
Yeah.
NFL. Like, please, like, I don't believe that.
Yeah. It's it's strange.
Yeah, but they're out. I'm not out. They're not outliving me. Sorry, I don't know why that was so hard for me to say.
I'll die before Formula E.
No, Formula E's gonna die before I do. I refuse. I'm gonna be at like 150, and I'll be like, no. Should we get to the Belgian Grand Prix to talk about what everyone wants to talk about?
Yes.
Which is that
Let's
you all
talk.
have a patience of a fucking 2-second Instagram reel.
Yes. I guess we have to talk about the FIA red flagging the race for 80 minutes because my inbox and my comments and my mentions are full of people who are arguing that this is a very stupid and terrible idea, that they should have just gone racing, etc. We had many drivers agreeing with the FIA in saying, yeah, actually, it was probably a good thing that we waited to start the race. Max Verstappen very clearly did not want to. Lewis Hamilton was similar of like delay was way too long.
I
I
would like
have no
to.
problem with it.
Yeah, I have no problem with it. I would like to negate those things too. I think we have to remember that when drivers talk, it is for like they have something not to push, but it's all a show. It's
There's a
all
reason.
there's a reason. Of course, Max Verstappen, Fernando Alonso, and Lewis Hamilton, the three best rain wet racing racers on the grid, would be like, yeah, we should have raced. I would have been fine. It's
Yeah.
like, yeah, no shit. The three of you would have been fine. But you had Charles Leclerc, Oscar Piastri, Lando Norris, Esteban Ocon, and George Russell, who negated them and said and you can see their radios, they're like, I can't see anything.
Yeah.
Like, I have nothing's going on behind. Like, I can't see behind this safety car. Piastri was like, Eau Rouge is clear, but after Eau Rouge, it's a little wet and all this other stuff. Like,
Yeah.
guys, like, I understand we keep picking Verstappen because he's Max Verstappen, Lewis Hamilton because he's Lewis Hamilton, and Fernando Alonso because it's Fernando Alonso. But they also have the most to gain, especially with their setups and how the way they were for the wet racing. Like, I get what they're saying, but there were other drivers we can add into the conversation that negated what they said. So you pick three.
Yeah.
I found five.
I would also like to discuss the fact that Spa is a difficult and dangerous circuit in and of itself. It is an holdout from a bygone era, is much safer than it has ever been before, which is great. But because it is built in the natural landscape, there are a lot of fast straights with blind corners that make it very difficult for a driver to make an escape in the event of an accident. We have seen this play out in the worst possible way in junior categories like FRECA and Formula 2. Antoine Hubert was killed at Spa in a rainy accident in 2019, and Delano Vanderhoff was killed in 2023. I know that the argument is Formula One drivers should be better and more experienced. However, we have 6 rookies on the field this year. So I would like to give them at least a little benefit of the doubt to get themselves put back together before they go crazy. And also, it does not. The problem at Spa has not just been Spa. It has been that Formula cars are designed for one impact, not for a second. And it is the second impact that has gotten these other drivers. So again, problem with Spa, if you go up over Eau Rouge and you hit the wall and you crashed, you have used up your first crash that your safety cell is designed to sustain. If you bounce back out onto the racetrack and get hit again, that gets to the fatal accidents. That's when the problems really begin to start. I thought the red flag was fine. I thought maybe like we probably could have gone racing like 20 minutes sooner, but also I get why they didn't. So
This is such like a nothing burger to me. After
Yeah,
the
I
race,
know.
when I saw all this stuff, I'm like, what are we even talking about here?
I know.
What are you
Oh
guys
my
mad
God.
about? It was so unfair. Could we have gone sooner? Sure.
Probably,
What if it
yeah.
didn't rain? What if it was dry to begin with? You guys would have gone
Yeah.
the same fucking race. Like,
Yeah.
it's just.
Yeah.
They're,
I think the FIA played it safe in order to give us the best chance of having a full event. We didn't have like a red flag. They didn't start it. I think what they were worried about was starting it, having a red flag, and then timing out. And then you've got your 3-hour time period that's over, and then you've done whatever, like 20 laps,
I
and then
think there's a
everyone's
lot of-
mad about that.
I think there's a lot of anger
Yeah.
over many different things, and people are blaming the delay. Sorry, well, there's many different things that we're angry about, and we're summarizing it with the word delay. And I
Yeah.
just don't think, and I think we just need to learn how to communicate better
Correct.
with all this. One,
Yeah.
I think we're annoyed by the transparency of the FIA. We don't know why they did what they did, right? I'm assuming safety. I'm assuming because they talked in Silverstone, the driver said they couldn't see anything. We should have waited. That the FIA overcorrected, but I also don't know that.
Yeah.
Some people are assuming they were fixing the race for McLaren. We also don't know that. Some people were
British
saying
bias.
Some people were saying this. Some people were saying that. We genuinely, none of us know because we were not in that room and there's no FIA document as to why that happened. That is the one thing that's annoying is the lack of transparency. Is we don't know why they made the decision to wait and what's going on. Someone said supposedly they were discussing during that 4-lap safety car if it should be a standing start or a rolling start. We don't know that either.
Yeah.
We don't know. And I think people are getting annoyed by that and then just filling in with their own biases, which we'll go through a list in a second.
Yeah.
So it's inherently frustrating. 2. There's that thing, the transparency. We don't know. 2. I guess I mentioned the biases, but you mentioned the safety thing is really large.
Yeah.
I mean, again,
It's an issue with Spa more than any other track. I think Jeddah might have overtaken Spa as the most dangerous track on the grid, on the calendar, but this track is always going to warrant extra caution. If you take this series out to Kona and it's downpouring, it doesn't really matter because there's not anywhere on that track that doesn't have like a 500-foot runoff area. So it makes it a lot safer or more reasonable to go green under those conditions. But it is the nature of Spa itself makes this a very difficult and unsafe place.
100%. I would like everyone to think about, sorry, someone mentioned that the displacement of water. Yes, okay. One Pirelli blue walled wet tire can displace 85 liters of water a second. One
Just
tire.
One. You got 4 of them.
You got 4 of them in 4 corners of the F1 car with these ground effect cars that also are better at vacuuming. Very layman's terms. One day I'll explain it better. Vacuuming, essentially sucking all the water and air underneath it as well. One tire, 85 liters times 4, and the ground effect cars. This is why Esteban Ocon, Oscar Piastri, Lando Norris, George Russell, Charles Leclerc, a lot of other drivers were saying there's a visibility issue while they were going behind the safety car. You can look at their radios. That's available on a website where you can see their transcripts of their teams asking, how is it out there, etc. There is, I think the next frustration is the absolute shit that is the wet tire, right? Everyone's like, why do we have it? Well, they were asked for Pirelli.
Can I just interject here? Pirelli did a
Yes,
fucking
please.
great job with this wet tire because what Pirelli did was follow the instructions to have a wet tire that could displace a massive amount of water. 85 liters a second is insane. That is groundbreaking technology. That is unreal. Unfortunately, in the instance that you use this tire, you are generally going to have red flag conditions because if there is that much water on the track to be displaced by these tires, there is more water than there should be. It is too dangerous to race, and you are not going to be able to see the car that is in front of you. We literally had this in Silverstone where was it Hadjar couldn't see Kimi Antonelli in front of him and came colliding into him because he just couldn't see in the spray. That shit happens, right? Pirelli did what Pirelli was supposed to do. They gave Pirelli a design initiative and said, we want a tire that can displace a ton of water. They gave them that.
And then they still bitch about the performance of the wets to the intermediates. That's Max Verstappen's huge thing.
Correct.
That he'd rather go for intermediates in a wet tire situation because the wets suck. And it's like, well, you can't have everything.
Yes. And also, I do want to point out that it is nigh impossible to test these tires. Like, Pirelli also has testing limitations and restrictions. All of the teams have testing limitations and restrictions. You can't just go out and test a wet tire in like every possible wet condition. First of all, because that's impossible to, like, how are you going to get it that wet? How are you going to test in every possible variable?
Yeah, exactly.
You think that they're going to do fine, but you just don't know until they get to the track. You can test them in a laboratory environment, but like that's nowhere near anything that is going to be reality. It does not take into account the fact that there are 20 of these cars on the racing surface. So you have all of this spray and all of this nonsense. Pirelli is in the process of fixing this issue specifically for 2026. But like, we're just going to have to wait. It just can't. People don't realize how hard this is. I think that's the frustrating thing. Like, there were so many people in my mentions who are getting so mad and like, couldn't Pirelli have fixed this? Well, not really. I mean, not really. They're doing their best, but like, I don't know. They did what they were asked to do. And then
like to say that for the tire strategy, supposedly of skipping compounds is still one stop regardless if you went medium or hard. That was, I think we talked about this last week. That was also, Pirelli was asked to do that. The drivers asked Pirelli to create a tire that was less sensitive to thermal degradation so they can push harder for longer. Pirelli gave them that. And here's where we are. Pirelli is doing nothing wrong. That's if it wasn't for the demand of a cliff of a performance cliff, Pirelli could make a grip of a soft tire that lasts the entire race.
Yes,
100%.
Yes,
but like
we've done it before.
F1 demands a tire fall off to their strategy.
This.
So there's a lot going on there. But yeah, essentially, it's not Pirelli's fault. Leave the wet tire alone.
Yeah, Pirelli cannot win. When Pirelli, I've shadowed at several different tire manufacturers at racetracks before, and it's one thing that they say across the board is if you do your job right, you'll never hear praise. If you do your job wrong, that's all you're going to hear about for the rest of forever. And that is like with Pirelli in this case, that situation. And it sucks. It makes me so mad just because like I know it seems simple, but tire technology is complex. There are mandates that come into effect based on safety. There are requests from the race series and the drivers that come into play in the terms of the design. Like these things are all, they're all issues. They're
Yeah,
all
people only
issues.
care when there's a problem. That's a good job. That's exactly a good point, Moon. And I also agree with Moon. People only care when it's a problem, and that's why half of you, not like you and chat specifically, but half of the internet wanted a rain race because you just wanted
Yeah.
chaos. You actually don't give
Yeah.
a shit about racing. Little do you know,
Yeah.
racing's kind of like baseball, where something might not happen for a couple hours till like the one incident or the one really good pass does or something. You
Yes.
know, this isn't a
Again,
multi-class
motorsport does
series.
not
Okay,
owe you an interesting race.
100%. Motorsport doesn't owe you an interesting race. I also think it was interesting. I thought it was fine. I thought it was good. I just like don't understand what the issue was because you had to wait an hour and 20 minutes. What, you just don't have something else to do? You could have done your laundry. You could have just cleaned the house. Like,
Yeah.
you could have just gone elsewhere. You could have just recorded it or watched it later. Like, what are we doing? Like, I don't understand
Yeah.
what the problem was. We've delayed races before. Maybe it's because we watch other motorsport series and
Yeah.
delay races all the time or have like section yellows for Nürburgring because it's so long. I just like don't understand.
I also want to point out because there were a lot of people who were like mad at me somehow for some reason about like
This is all
can't the
your fault. Did
FIA
you not know?
can't the FIA read a forecast? And I was like,
Can you read a forecast? Do you know what 10%
do you
rain
guys
means?
understand that when you're in the fucking mountains, sometimes shit just happens? Like they looked at the forecast. I looked at the forecast and I saw that like, yeah, we're expecting rain at the start of the race and not that bad, right? We're gonna have a wet start. Maybe it'll dry up, maybe it'll continue, but it'll be a Silverstone situation. It should be plenty fine. And then we get to Sunday, and the Formula 3 race is canceled because it's raining way harder than anyone was expecting it to, and way harder than what the forecast and the radar was showing. So they could have, like in Brazil, I think in a couple of years ago, they moved the race up a little bit because they knew it was going to be really bad. But they didn't know in this instance. They knew it was going to rain the whole time. Formula 3 was raining too hard to race. Formula 2, it was raining, but not hard enough to cancel the race. You don't know if that's going to be Formula 1. You have a responsibility to let all these other drivers race as long as the conditions are fine. Like, these are things that, sure, I guess you could look at the forecast. The forecast is not telling you every eventuality, particularly in the mountains, where sometimes rain just turns up and they make a cloud and it rains on one part of the circuit and that's it.
Right. I would like to explain also if people may or may not know what the percentage of rain means when you're looking at it in a forecast. First of all, weather is generally difficult to actually predict, even though we've had so many advancements in like all these radars and stuff. Weather is still very unpredictable. Things can pop up, things can just happen. We do not know, especially in Spa, as Snake's pointing out in the chat, having a microclimate in the track. If a forecast for Charlotte says there's a 30% chance of rain today, it means there's a 30% chance that at least 0.01 inches falls somewhere in Charlotte. It's a probability chance that a measurable amount of rain will fall somewhere in the area. Doesn't mean over my house. It doesn't mean the entire area of Charlotte. It could literally be the last block of what's deemed the Charlotte city limits, and it could be 0.01 inches, or it could be more. We actually don't know the amount of rain it means that's coming when we say a 40, 30, 100% chance, etc. It's just a probability, and I just don't... Like, do you think people can read? Where it gets annoying for me is when every other team knows that it's raining, and then let's like Ferrari's like, "What? How did you guys get that?" And I was like, "You all have the same weather radar. You just decided not to read it." That's where I get annoyed.
Well, they also do have their own.
Yeah.
Often, like the FIA has its own weather radar that it shares with everyone, but each team also refers to its own because a lot of teams think that they have their own system that works better, and sometimes that radar is different and that forecast is different. So sometimes yeah, but like again, this is whether you use like weather.com or AccuWeather, like your forecast might be different depending on your forecast of choice. And that's a risk that you take being a human being alive on this planet Earth.
Yeah. Could we debate about the 4 laps? Here's the thing. I'm not saying that people can't debate about this, right? I get it. Like 4 laps, yeah, good. They started sooner, maybe. We don't know.
Yeah.
The rolling start, that was a choice, but like, okay, not my choice to make. I don't know what information they had at the time they sent it. We still had a full race. But I'm just confused about I think, the extreme response to how this unfolded. And I'm reading it and I'm like, this is
People are
psychological.
acting like we killed their grandma. Like F1 physically hurt people that they love, and that is not at all what happens.
This was gonna be my video for today that I haven't recorded yet because I did yesterday. I thought I could do a better job. But anyway, I've been getting a lot more frustrated reading on the internet, and I think because there are a lot of logical fallacies that people are using, and I think this corresponds with also just the lack of comprehension on the internet. And if you guys don't mind, if I may take the time to read it through. One is, so the first one is biases is hindsight bias. I was going through a whole list yesterday. I was like, will this make me feel better if I know what's going on in these people's minds? Is the hindsight bias, right? That people assume that because there wasn't a crash, the conditions must have been fine all along, right? Like they could have raced at 3 p.m., right? Nothing happened. Nothing happened because they didn't race when it rains, right? Again, that's hindsight. Outcome bias, judging the bias on the result rather than the logic behind it. Sorry, the decision based. The race was fine, so the delay was dumb. Even if the race was clean, it doesn't mean that the delay was a bad call.
Yeah.
Negativity bias, that seemed pretty easy, right? People are not going to tweet that, or thank God the race was delayed, nothing happened. People just want to be mad. So people don't tweet, wow, the FIA avoided a disaster today. They tweet, I waited 90 minutes for a dry race. How fucking lame was that? It's just inherently. I think also instant gratification bias, which kind of plays into that, right? We wanted to be entertained now. We wanted a race now. We were told the schedule now. I watched this goddamn movie and I was told this is what happens. We came here to race and not wait, but we also, like, drivers came here to race and not leave in an ambulance. So, like, sorry, it was a buzzkill, not a smart call in hindsight. It was just a little frustrating. My favorite one is people's like, oh, Senna raced in the rain. And I was like, you just have like a survivorship bias, right? Spa 2008. People talk about, what was it, 1991 people were referencing? Yeah, but you don't talk about 1992. You don't talk about 1998. Do you guys not remember 2001? Does 2001? 2021. Am I crazy? I think I am crazy. 2021. Lando Norris, red flagging for his incident. Read the comments under that YouTube video. I can't believe F1, I can't believe the FIA would let them race in conditions like this. That was so scary. Do we remember not the incidents and the deaths that happened here before? That was crazy. I can't believe the FIA let that happen. Someone should be fired. Do you know what the comments are reading now? Oh, the dry race was boring. The race director's a pussy. He should be fired. I was like, what is wrong with you? Pick a fucking lane. Are we mad that Lando Norris crashed and the FIA let them race in wet conditions because then they crashed and you had that emotional response? Or now that it's dry and you're bored because you can't be entertained for more than 50 seconds on an Instagram reel, that like you just use your noggin for 2 fucking seconds. It's not that big of a deal. Actor observer bias. We blame others' actions on their character, but excuse others based on context. Fans claim the FIA is soft and competent instead of considering why race control might have made that call right. The FIA just wants to control everything, etc. Meanwhile, we excuse or like glorify Verstappen and Hamilton for pushing a race because they're competitive and they're racers and they know what they're talking about, but not the FIA, God forbid. And then, of course, just confirmation bias. We already think that the FIA is soft and corrupt and we fucking hate them, which, I agree with that. We think they're cherry picking as they need to, but all this, it's just, no, it's your pre-existing belief. It's just, all this stuff that I outlined, it's just frustrating to see that these are not good arguments being made.
Yeah. I liked what Fred Vasseur said after the race, which was we can't blame race control because we would collectively be the ones to give them shit if something happened. And I agree with that 1,000%. We work in retrospect constantly. And as Snakes said, the tell for me was that they waited too long. The tell for me that they waited too long was that how quickly they went onto dry tires after the start. From what I also gathered from, like, we have folks on the ground at Spa. Most of the teams were expecting it to not dry up as quick, and most of the teams were expecting there to be further rain. So it's one of those situations of, like, we see it now, and it was like, okay, well, the swap to dry tires happened quite quickly, but also they were not expecting a dry condition continuing on further than that. They thought they were going to have a wet race at some point. They were expecting a downpour at some further point in the race, soon after the race start and near the end of the event. And these all played into what happened and what the strategy was. And it ultimately turned out that that was not the case. But, like, that shit happens. I don't know. It's racing. Personally, I would rather err on the side of caution.
Yeah.
I feel
like any logical person would agree with you. I just like don't understand the upset of like, oh, the most annoying argument is like, oh, they made the race boring. They don't. Oh,
I don't
the
give a
FIA didn't
fuck.
have that in their mind when they were making the race.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, the FIA was not like, what would be most entertaining?
Yeah.
Because if they would, we obviously would have just let them fucking race in the rain.
Sports is a certain amount of entertainment, but there also needs to be the balance of entertainment and like practical concerns such as safety. I don't We have 6 rookies on the grid this year. We saw how poorly most of them handled Australia.
Mm-hmm.
We saw how much a lot of them struggled at Silverstone. I don't want to put them in those conditions and be like, figure that shit out. Especially not at Spa. Spa, you can do that in a lot of other places. You can take that risk because it's less of a risk. But at Spa, it is still so dangerous. Like that track has always been scary. I don't know. Couldn't be me.
What's going to happen next week is we're going to race in the wet in the Hungarian Grand Prix. People are going to be like, oh, why didn't we do that last week? Because they're too. Also, each track is different. You don't know how the pooling works. Spa was built so long ago.
Yeah.
It's in the mountains, how the pooling works, how the track evolves, and all this stuff that they have to look at.
Yeah.
Excuse me, when they're in the safety car, when they first started the race and just did a lap and they pulled everyone back in, as you mentioned, to analyze track conditions, you got to make sure.
Yeah. Like they do that. In 2015 at the US Grand Prix, when we had the last remnants of Hurricane Patricia sweep in and wash out qualifying, they did this regularly. They sent a safety car out every like 45 minutes to test the conditions. They didn't get the cars out because it wasn't the race itself, so it didn't really matter. But they were out there like, we think the rain is done, but we don't know how it has pooled on the track. You don't know until you go drive it. You have no idea until you get on it. It might look good, it might look fine, but you don't know. And you also don't know what the spray is going to do because it's spray. It's like we're talking about little elements here, and people are very upset about it. I just don't understand. I don't know. I guess you get the clout for being mad, but the thing that got me was how many people changed their opinions on this. So when the race was first delayed and it was pouring, especially at the start of the race, there were several folks on the social medias that I saw posting, we should cancel this race. Why are they even trying to go green? What are they doing? These conditions are very obviously dangerous. By the end of the race, those very same folks had flipped 180 degrees to say, why didn't they start the race sooner?
Oh, yeah.
Why didn't they race in the rain? Why didn't they do this? And it was like, well, you guys were the ones calling for it to just get canceled literally 2 hours ago.
Yeah.
Because you thought the conditions were exceedingly dangerous. And now we've got to the end and realized actually it turned into a dry race. Like, girl, what are we doing?
Yeah, hindsight's definitely not 2020. This is where, to your point, this is where the argument gets annoying because now that we know the race, again, hindsight bias, now that we know the race is fine, we should have raced. We didn't know that at the time. We did the best we could with the information that we had, and that's why I don't believe in regrets, because I don't know all the information that I have. I obviously know it now that I've made the decision, and I can't regret that I didn't make a different decision. I just didn't have the information. I did the best with what we had in front of us at the time to make those decisions.
Yeah.
Coronado says that I'm totally for a safe race. I just wish my broadcast to explain the reasons for the delay better. And I really think that's inherently the thing. It's just the FIA is not transparent there. And I guess they don't want to be, because why give people the fuel? Because then if we do race in Hungary and God forbid something happens to someone, then they'll be like, oh, but in Spa you said this, because people can't use 2 brain cells and realize what's going on. This is where I get so frustrated. And I get it. New fans, I absolutely love that they're here. But it's just hard to explain because motorsport is so nuanced. When I was going through learning about the wet tire and like why Max hates it, but what Pirelli has the ask, and I was going through this last night and about like they were asked to do this. They were asked to displace 85 liters of water a second. But now because they do that, the tire performance is shit. So now some people race in the intermediates when it should be wet. It's like this whole thing where it's like no one can win. So the FIA is like, why should we be transparent? Because people are going to use that against us. And it just creates this whole thing. And it's hard to understand.
You set a precedent for situations that you may not want to set for every situation if you over-explain why you made that call.
Yeah. So Much like how the FIA fans get annoyed at strategy calls, they get annoyed at the FIA in hindsight. They get annoyed like they're fucking Nostradamus in the moment, and it winds me up. Yeah.
Yeah.
I do complain about bad strategy calls from time to time, but at some point you're like, oh, I thought it would hold them off, and then we had a shit pit, and then everything else fell into place. Yeah, strategy calls the same exact way when we're talking about them.
There's a certain amount of it where it's like if a team is really bad all the time, then it's like we can question their strategy team as a whole. Because if you're making the wrong call every time, girl, what are you doing? But
I forget what bias this is, but we're just looking at one race. What if we look at all the calls from all the other race, right? It's just frustrating. And sorry, to finish my thought on new fans, I'm not blaming you. I'm saying essentially motorsports is inherently nuanced. Where I was learning all last night, yesterday, like about this wet tire, about what the issue was. Learning then that Pirelli did what they had to do, like they did their job. Yeah. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. What's going on here? Like you're constantly learning in motorsport, and I just don't think internet and clicks lend itself to that. People just want to be mad. And to then double down on your point, Elizabeth, there are so many content creators who are just doubling down on the mad. I was like, did you actually, I don't think you give a shit. Someone just like made like a back and forth talking of like a F1 fan in a therapist office.
Yeah.
And it's just like, yeah, they delayed the race. We're like, yeah, how dumb the FIA is. They absolutely fucked it. I was like, okay. Like all these creators are just like doubling down and trying to get the views, and people are like, yeah, and they're pitchforks. And it's like, this is so dumb. This is the dumbest thing we've ever been mad at Formula One. Actually, no. It was the halo all you dipshits were mad about, which is the dumbest second
Why
thing.
is it always the safety thing? Why are we always like, it's so stupid that they're not going to be more dangerous?
Dumb. I bet you didn't wear a fucking helmet on a bike, you dipshit. Now you have CTE. Now I have to deal with it when you type on the internet because you thought it looked stupid to wear one. Stop making it my problem. Like, it's so frustrating.
Why don't they close the cockpits? Problem solved. Then they can do whatever they want.
I knew it. I freaking knew it. That was the answer all along. Yeah, could they have raced a little sooner than 4 laps? Maybe, but they were getting feedback from the drivers that they couldn't see shit.
Yeah.
Could it have been a standing start instead of a rolling start?
Maybe.
None of us truly know. That is the next issue, right? And it's just like,
we won't know unless we do it, and we can't do all of the options. Like, we gotta just pick something and
we have
fucking
so
get
many
going.
races left. The fact that we're bitching about one race that everyone apparently is bitching about, like, why do we race at Spa anyway? And now it's gonna be on a rotating calendar, and this car is shit. And tires give us everything that they've asked for, but genuinely nothing, because they asked for this tire. They gave us a shitty ground effect car. Now we have aerodynamic innovations that give us dirty air. This fucking track. This was a combination. It's just,
It's a lot.
Formula 2 top racing. Half the start-finish line was wet, so everyone on that side didn't want a standing start.
Yeah. Like, we're talking, again, changeable conditions, variables. You've got people who are going to be inherently disadvantaged if we do the standing start, because there's half of the track that's got wet on it because it's fucking Spa, and the drainage here is not ideal. Yeah. I also was thinking Zandvoort was this week.
Oh, that's
HCAT, so you're not alone.
Why'd you guys think that?
Because I swear to God, Zandvoort used to be the race before the summer break, and then we'd come back with Spa. I don't know. That's just me. I'm just crazy.
Yeah. Ultimately, could we be like, oh, they should have raced sooner? Yeah. Again, could all this stuff? Yeah. But again, it's the outrage that me and Elizabeth do not understand of, like, why are people yelling, saying that the race director should be fired, etc. Bates says, ladies are making great points. I'm just salty about when the race started because I wanted a Max win. I felt he had a better shot if there was more wet racing. I don't want to be mad. Yeah, that's fine. That's a good assessment.
See, I'm glad that you say that, because I wish that a lot of other people would. Because absolutely, if you're like, I wish my dude won, by all means, have your take.
Here's the next
conversation. I don't want to see the moral high ground on this of, like, I'm doing this for the best reason ever because I am a super genius and this is how the racing would be purest and best. No one thinks that. If you're like, I just want Max to win, buy it 1,000%. Feel your feels. You got this.
Yeah, EJ saying my biggest disappointment was the end. Hamilton chasing Albon, Verstappen chasing Leclerc, Norris chasing Piastri. I felt like a build-up led to nothing. I just wanted to see this played out. But yeah, that wasn't the fault of the when or how the race started, right? That is the effect
Correct.
of everything we've talked about, the tires that Pirelli gave them that were asked for, the ground effect cars, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So, unfortunately, and also this has not been the first time that we've had a processional race. I think we're just getting
Hmm.
annoyed with it.
Yeah.
Right. A lot of other races. What did I say in my YouTube script? What were the races that actually had a change of? It was Silverstone. Um, was it? Did we have Baku already?
No. Baku's in September now.
Baku's in September. Thank you so much. What am I saying? Do 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 do. You know, I write a script and then I don't actually write anything in my script. Where did I just pull this from? Did I just pull? And like, a few lead changes were only because of like certain penalties too, out of the all, after all of them. So
Yeah.
we've had these processional races. The oh sorry, I broke your ear, little kitty. It's just nothing new with this, and I just don't know why we're taking it out on Spa because we have to wait an hour and 20 minutes.
Yeah. I mean, the fans got a race as opposed to 2021 when they didn't. So there's that.
Yeah. There was an interesting discussion saying that if right, Max Verstappen had a wet weather setup, others did as well, specifically for a moment like this. Should they have been able to, under the red flag conditions, then change their setup or something?
Yeah.
Knowing that the FIA was going to wait for them to race in the dry or much drier conditions than their car allowed. And I'm going back and forth on that. I think that's just a risk you take when you do these kind of setups. Max has had the wrong setup before.
Yeah.
They've had
Everyone has had the wrong
yeah,
setup
you've had wrong
before.
wings before. You've like bought the wrong kind of car, floor, etc. We'll talk about that with Mercedes too. Supposedly went the wrong way in their upgrades and stuff. If it wasn't a sprint weekend, I'd probably lean towards yes, says that one guy. I guess this is where the FIA transparency comes into place. If you're not going to race in the wet, then let the teams know, hey, we're not going to have a wet weather setup.
Yeah.
Excuse me, Kat. You're talking in Mina Elizabeth's show notes right now.
Little guy.
Little guy. Sorry, he typed in a bunch of Q's. Back on his pillow, W. So maybe there's more, again, transparency, but then that opens a whole can of worms, and I don't have the answer to everything, and I would like to stop telling you.
I have to go to the bathroom. I'm gonna be right back. I drank all my coffee just before we started, and I made a critical error.
Critical error. Pet your cats for us. Tell them I said pss, pss, pss. Thank you for watching on the YouTube and on the Twitch. I appreciate it. Yeah, and I agree with you, EJ. They should make decisions just on rookies. It's a general safety thing for sure. I do like that discussion. But yeah, then why even create a wet tire if you're not even going to use it? You know what I'm saying? Took a gamble on the wet setup. That's a part of it. That's what I'm saying, Dancer. Like that, you took a gamble. What if it didn't rain? What if something else happened that you had to delay the race, and it rained during that delay? Like all these ifs, right? And this is what you're gambling. And this is where most, not that I agree in sports betting, but this is why a lot of people don't like betting on motorsports because it's just so unsure. That's funny, Bates. Amazing that there are no DNFs. Rookies are all real good this year except Colapinto. We'll talk about it, but Antonelli is on a downward streak, and it's kind of unfortunate. People are questioning his confidence. Kind of frustrating, to say the least.
I've returned.
Liz is back, everyone. Get your shit together. I like the idea that teams have to make an early decision on setups, but then the FIA needs to be prepared to let them race in the wet. There are all sorts of factors out there, but generally the FIA has been much more rain adverse in later years for various reasons, but I do think that needs a rethink.
Yeah, I can agree with
I
that.
wonder if that's discussed. Be like, hey, we're not, if it's raining in Spa, I guess they don't know, right? Because if it was like drizzling, it would have been fine.
Yeah.
So it's a gamble you take, back to Dorky's point. Yeah, we can talk about this till the cows come home.
All of the variables.
On second thought, I'd rather the cows talk about this till I come home. Let's talk about Oscar Piastri. There's just a little bit of a sprint race situation in his good move on Lando Norris.
Yeah. So he was on pole for the sprint, but loses out to Max Verstappen on the straight. The sprint was a sprint. It did its thing. Lando Norris was on pole for the Grand Prix, but was overtaken by Piastri through Eau Rouge, and Piastri held on to win. Piastri, after the sprint pole, said, actually, like, this is the worst, like probably the worst place to start at Spa is from pole position. So I looked this up. Of the 57 previous Belgian Grand Prix at Spa, only 27 drivers have converted a pole position to a win. So that is half, but most other tracks usually have a pretty decent conversion ratio.
Yeah.
And every single one of those drivers who converted that pole position to a win at Spa ended up with a world champion, ended up with a world championship. The only one who didn't is Charles Leclerc, but there's still time for him. So everyone else, John Surtees, Fangio, like all of the other folks.
Oscar WDC confirmed. That's what I was saying. Secret ingredient.
Yeah, but he didn't go from pole to win. He didn't convert. Sorry.
Whatever, Oscar WDC.
Oscar WDC anyway.
Anyway.
Yeah, so he called his maneuver brave that he pulled on Lando, and said that it felt a lot scarier than it looked from the outside, which I completely believe. And he also said that he'd been thinking about making that move for a while, which I don't like. I don't know how long a while means, but he like gave a little chuckle, and I was like, this man was thinking about that last night.
He did a Instagram reel of him in the simulator racing at Spa, so I thought that was
That's
funny.
funny.
Before the race, the race looked at some data from that overtake and the start and everything, and they were saying, well, they went up full throttle. Lando Norris actually dialed it back down to like 87%. Meanwhile, Piastri kept his foot down at 100, and helped him make that move. And this is where my conversation comes in, that 9 times out of 10, I think Oscar is the ballsy, gutsy. He makes calculated risk, and he is good at math. And it works out for him. I think he is the better driver, and we still haven't seen the best of Oscar Piastri. That's sometimes where I get annoyed with Lando Norris, and we'll talk about this, right? I think how he made those 3 mistakes that cost him up to 4 seconds in total, and it's a little bit frustrating. Where I think he either gets in his head or just does those small mistakes and just like can't nail them down. We talked about this so many times. Yeah. And I'm not saying he doesn't have like the mentality. Like obviously he works hard. He's a great racer and he's a good person. I think he's been pushed a lot by the British media of the next coming of like Jesus Christ in F1, and that's unfortunately a detriment to him and how people analyze him. And it's really unfortunate. I think he's a really good driver. I think he's a top 3 driver. Do I think he's top WDC contender? It's hard to tell considering he's just like making those mistakes. And it's like it's rough. It's hard to watch. He's so hard on himself, and I hate that.
Yeah. It was tough the start of this weekend as well, because they were like, oh, did you enjoy your break? Like, did you get to enjoy the Silverstone win? And he was like, no, I was like depressed on Monday. And I was like, God, I get it. Like, I get that the come down is tough. I get that also you're looking ahead to the next thing. Mm-hmm. But like, man, this guy needs to be able to enjoy himself a little bit and revel in that win just for like 35 seconds.
Sorry, I had to let the cat out. It was meowing.
He's free.
He's free. Lando just sits in his own head too much. And yeah. That can't be inherently a bad thing, but you can't let that consume you. Obviously, Piastri and shown he's able to bounce back from like what people considered a rough weekend for him. And he bounced back, and he's like, to Elizabeth's points, he chuckled. He's like, I've been thinking about this. I know what I need to do. My foot's down 100% of throttle the entire time to overtake at this position right now.
Yeah. Yeah. It was good.
Yeah, it was good. I like that.
It was Red Bull's first weekend without Christian Horner, and all things went pretty fine.
Yeah, it was pretty nice. It's pretty calm.
Yeah. It was the first sprint race win with Laura Mekies as the team principal, so good for them, I guess. And the race itself was a little bit more chaotic. Yuki Tsunoda got the call to pit for slick tires after he had passed pit entry, so therefore he ended up finishing out of the points. And that sucked because he finally made it to Q3. Every Red Bull driver was in Q3 for the Grand Prix. We had Verstappen in 4th, and then like 7th, 8th, and 9th was Tsunoda, Hadjar, and Lawson. So these are all great things forward. Verstappen finished 4th in the race. And the reason Yuki's doing better is because they finally gave him the fucking upgrades that Max has had.
This is what I read, and you'll have to tell me if it's right or wrong. So it's Max Verstappen had a new floor, and then he had a spare. Yuki already used up a spare. So you would save that part for Max. God forbid something happens during this weekend. is what the thing is. Like, that's just good business. Like, you give it to someone who's going to give you the points
Mm-hmm.
of whatever. So they just
Mm-hmm.
add that floor, and instead of saving it for Max, forbid something happened and had to
Yeah.
go into Park Ferme, they gave it to Yuki instead, and that was a
Mm-hmm.
risky decision. That was an
It was
inherently
a
risky
s-
decision for me, and I understand
it was
everyone's
a
happy
risky
for
decision,
Yuki,
but
but it was a risky
I think it
decision.
needed to be made.
You're
Like
hearing ringing because it's the cat.
I I don't know. Yeah, it's risky, but at what point do you start treating your second driver with any amount of respect or any like I don't know. Yuki feels like he's just there, and at no point was anyone going to like work on giving him any kind of improvements or whatever. It was just like you're just here to finish.
No, but they gave him a
Maybe
floor. He had a
they
spare, and then
did.
he used it, and then they couldn't give him a new one because Mac, like, they're not going to make
Mhm.
all these floors all the time if you're going to crash out. That second car is just not. It's just been a revolving door of incidents. So yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
understand
think it
why they.
was a
Excuse
I think it
you.
was a good call.
I understand why.
There you go.
Brother, help me. Sorry, it was very Lion King there for a second. Okay, goodbye, cat. Sorry, he's
Ferrari,
still climbing
this
down. My
so
apologies.
sorry.
Okay, he's down now.
Ferrari did not suck totally this weekend. They brought a set of upgrades to Spa in an attempt to fix an ongoing ride height issue that they've had. And the drivers were like a little bit hesitant about saying that it was going to be good or was good until they got to the end of the race and everything was kind of fine. Charles Leclerc qualified third, finished third, so he absolutely nailed it. Lewis Hamilton was knocked out in Q1, but he took a strategy gamble in the race by being the first person to pit for slick tires, and that worked out great. For him, he finished seventh. Still not like the best situation that is possible, but clearly gave him a certain amount of confidence that he has not had in the car previously. The big problem with Ferrari was that after China, when they got disqualified for ride height wear, they lifted their car too high and that completely ruined the handling of it that the drivers had enjoyed previously. So that has been like they've been unable to issue any changes until now. So it seems like they've done a little bit to move that in the right direction, but I think it is kind of too little, too late.
I think Charles Leclerc made the best. He maximized what he could out of the third fastest
Yes.
car. I think he had a
Yes.
great weekend. I think he crushed it.
Yes.
I think Charles Leclerc did really, really well. And
Leclerc did everything he needed to do, and he did it well.
yeah, Hamilton said this is a. I think he said it's another weekend to forget, or like another. I
Yeah.
forgot. I was in the F1 website that he was just not happy with his performance. I think, of course, for him being good in like a decently damp race and changing conditions, he expects that from himself. And even though we were really happy for him that he finished seventh after starting from pit and all that other stuff, he was just not happy with himself.
Yeah.
Which I respect from a world champion who wants more championships. But I think he could take a little time to be like pat on the back.
Yeah.
You know? He's like, I still got it in me.
Yeah. It wasn't that bad. And Mercedes had a very terrible weekend. Kimi Antonelli was knocked out in SQ1 and in Q1 and finished outside the points in both races. It came to the point where before the Grand Prix, Lewis Hamilton came to Mercedes. Like apparently he regularly visits Mercedes and like says hi to everyone and catches up. But he like pulled Kimi Antonelli to the side and was like, "Hey kid, keep your head up, keep believing in yourself. Like we all have bad weekends, we all have bad runs. So don't let it get to you," which I think is nice. George Russell finished fifth, but he still says that he wants to have a big meeting with the team to figure out what happened to their performance. So George thinks that the issue is down to the flexi wing upgrade that they brought in Barcelona. So since the technical directive came into play, they've gone, he believes, downhill. And there has been a downturn in performance, but we also had George winning a race within that period of time. And we also had Kimi Antonelli on the podium during that period of time. So maybe this flexi wing was just like not a problem in Canada or whatever the situation was. But Andrew Shevlin, the trackside engineering director, does not believe that that is like the wing is the problem. He thinks it's and it like everything has kind of just the upgrades have all worked against each other a little bit. So I don't think it's going to be quite an easy fix, unfortunately for them.
Bates in the YouTube chat was talking about how we believe the Antonelli thing is a rookie slump for him. I think he'll bounce back.
I do
One,
too.
he's got to. I mean, this is one of those.
He's so good. For some reason, when he's in Europe, like he shits the bed. Take that boy out of Europe and he performs. He's gonna win his first race at
Just like
Coda.
me. Yeah. He wins races everywhere else but in Europe. Yeah, I think he'll be okay. There's a lot of articles coming out about like, oh, his confidence is shaken. Like, what are they going to do? And I'm like, no, no,
Well, I
no,
mean, I'm
don't
sure his
don't do
confidence
this
is
to
certainly
our little baby boy Kimmy,
shaken,
even though he's
but
a adult who obviously races cars and gets paid millions of dollars. But don't do that to him.
yeah,
He's not deserving of that.
he's just a little guy.
The cat's got the zoomies.
He's running.
Antonelli to Indy confirmed by journalist Elizabeth Blackstock. Post it, tweet it.
Dude, a girl can dream. Could you imagine Kimi Antonelli at the Indy 500?
This little cat here in the corner, causing all sorts of chaos. I'd be sick if he was at the Indy 500. But yeah, I think he'll be okay.
Yeah.
Stop writing articles that he's like he sucks. Is his confidence shaken? Probably a little bit, but I think he can bounce back. We have so much racing left with the calendar. We do have the Hungarian Grand Prix, and then we're gone again for 3 weeks. That is summer shutdown. That is the summer shutdown
Yes.
of mandatory every single team. No one's doing shit.
Yes. We just had that 3-week break previously for no real reason other than scheduling, I guess.
But Elizabeth brought up another good point. When we come back, we have the Dutch Grand Prix, the Italian Grand Prix, and then we have another 2-week break
Correct.
to go to Azerbaijan
Yes.
and Singapore. And then we have another
Yes.
break
And then we go to Coda.
for
right?
Coda, but then we go back to back United States, Mexico, Brazil, a little bit of a break, Vegas, and then we round off for 3 weeks straight. What's that face?
It's literally just a personal problem.
The reaction mean just dropped.
I don't ever October is my second favorite month. And I like never get to do anything in October because I'm always on the road following Formula One. But it's literally just like a me problem.
Yeah, that's definitely a you problem.
And then also the end of the year, 3 races back to back to back to end the season.
I do genuinely hate that we go to December.
I don't mind.
It's just too long. We're doing stuff from like February to December. This is crazy.
Yeah, and then the first preseason test next year is January. That's fucked up.
It's absolutely insane.
Yeah. It's just, the problem is like, it's tough. And I think being at the track, I don't go to all of the races, obviously, but there are also a lot of journalists who do. Like you see them in like the middle of this. It's like in Mexico, everyone's dead inside. And it's like they know that they still have to go to Brazil next weekend. And then they know that they're going to have to go from Vegas to Qatar to Abu Dhabi and like finish that off. It's just a lot. I don't know. It's very exhausting. One person gets sick, then everyone in the media center's over. Like, it's just not fun. Everyone's tired and exhausted, and then everyone's bitchy at the drivers. And then the drivers get bitchy at us.
Keith Moonshine said schedule is nuts too much. Yeah, 24 is a lot. And I also feel bad for as well as NASCAR as well, because I follow Kelly Crandall, who's incredible. If you don't follow her, you absolutely should. Incredible NASCAR journalist. Just like every weekend when she goes to NASCAR, she'll write like, oh, 21 out of 36 or like 17 out of 36. And I think it was 17 out of whatever. And I was like,
Yeah,
you have so much more to go.
I know.
And you're going all over the country. Yeah.
It's a lot.
Yeah, NASCAR is rough. I agree. F1's rough, and also NASCAR is rough. Like the turnover rates in these series, so NASCAR and F1 specifically, because I think IMSA is a little spread out. At least WEC's a little spread out. So is IndyCar, but it's
Chris
rough.
and I were talking about this, and I think we should go back to having like 15 races, and also only the best 7 count for the championship. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk.
7.
Yeah. Like 8, I guess. I don't know. Back in the day, they used to do that. Half of your results counted toward the championship.
I'm fine with 15. I don't like that only 7 count. Then why would I race? I guess because you're trying to maximize the best results for all 15, and whatever the best 7 are, you're just
and
like, good.
because at that point in time, not everyone raced at every race. They just prioritized specific ones that they could get to because at that point, it was a small grassroots series.
Yeah. The races don't become special anymore, says Keith, if you're racing for 24 and such. Yeah. Well, that's why I don't feel bad about missing a NASCAR race. I'm just like, oh, it's just 1 out of 36.
Yeah.
I feel comfortable missing at least a solid 2 months of NASCAR racing. And I'll just jump back into it. Like, if I had to, I'll be like, I don't feel like watching this race today. Or like, oh, I have something else to do. I'll just miss it. I don't really care.
Yeah.
I'll just watch the whatever, the highlights. I'll watch it later in my time or something. It's just, it's so much.
I know.
And it always doesn't matter. I mean, sorry, it doesn't always matter is what I meant. Sorry, that was a weird way of saying that. It always doesn't matter. Because how many repeat wins have we had? I guess the points do matter when you're like at the cutoff and all this other stuff. But like I can just read about that. Like I don't need to watch 3 hours of racing. Let's go talk about the NASCAR Brickyard because we're kind of leaning into it here.
Yes. So the Xfinity race in the build-up, Connor Zilisch took Junior Motorsports' 100th win, and that is his 3rd straight victory, which was great. I like Connor Zilisch. He's freaking killing it. He's cooking. Justin Allgaier and Kyle Larson were on the front row for the restart with 20 laps to go. Larson then ran into Allgaier and knocked him into the outside wall, which ended up allowing Connor Zilisch to take the lead. There's a brief red flag. Connor Zilisch still went on to pass Taylor Gray to win. It was fun. Austin Hill also at one point turned into Eric Almirola in the closing stages of the race, which seemed entirely intentional, and resulted in NASCAR holding him for 5 laps, and resulted in Austin Hill going off on a rant about how NASCAR can go fuck themselves, which I'm sure is going to be great. NASCAR says they're reviewing this for further penalties. I don't know that they're going to suspend him from a race or anything like that, because that would end up resulting in discounting him from the playoffs. I imagine that there will be some sort of monetary fine. I think he should have community service or something. I don't know. Go talk to some children about
don't
why
let
you
Austin Hill
shouldn't.
talk to children. That seems
That's
terrible.
right. See, but this is the funniest part was,
Hi, baby.
was he not a couple weeks ago standing up at the drivers' meeting and being like, we should all be driving smarter, and all of these kids in this Xfinity series are driving
everyone's like, made Denny Hamlin the villain. It's like, no, there's a villain called Austin Hill and he's doing it to himself. Can I read the full radio? I feel like you skimmed it. So
please
a dramatic reading of Austin Hill's radio. Oh, they can go fuck themselves. Fuck NASCAR. That is fucking bullshit. I'm fucking sideways. I go to correct it back to the left, and it's locked to the left, and I run into the 19. The end.
Eric Almirola said that was definitely intentional.
Did he get laughed out of that driver's meeting?
He did.
Probably.
Yeah. It was a chaotic end of the race. Very funny.
Don't wear. What I've been reading on Reddit is don't wear white gloves.
Don't wear white gloves.
If you don't want to get in trouble.
See, fucking he's turning. This is straight. It's a 3/4 of a mile long straight. If you turn your hand, we can all see it.
Don't wear white gloves.
Yeah.
The cup race. Oh, where are you going, you little shit?
The cup race was a lot of fun. We had Chase Briscoe on the pole, but it was Bubba Wallace for the win. Wallace started second, but he did not end up in the lead until lap 142 after Ryan Blaney pitted following Joey Logano's tire failure.
Oh, my camera did freeze. Do you know why? Do you guys want to assume why my camera froze? And who?
Was it the cat?
Who caused it?
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Was it a little baby?
Was it a little baby guy? Yeah, probably. Why is it frozen? Come back to me. This is so weird. What is happening?
Rip.
What did you do, Cat? What did you do?
Cat's gonna get a 10-second penalty. Hold him for 5 laps.
Okay, let's see what we got here. Do-do-do-do, now he's attacking my slippers. Excuse me. What did you do? You little pooper.
Pumpernickel is the cat's name. Yes.
Yeah, it's not Pooper. Don't meow at me like you didn't do anything.
He didn't. He was an innocent baby. I didn't see anything personally. So I think it's fine.
It wasn't him. Can't prove it.
Yeah. He's just a little boy.
This is why we can't have nice things, Pumpernickel. Hello? What is happening? Dog, what did you do? Jesus Christ. We're back, baby. Hey, get out from under there, you little shit.
Check his onboards.
Checking your onboards. I'm keeping you here in jail.
Ha 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 ha.
NASCAR Cup race.
Yes. Bubba Wallace started second, didn't get the lead till 142, etc., etc. He ended up having over a 5-second lead as the pit stop cycle continued. And Kyle Larson in second made some decent inroads on him, but then we got a flag for rain. So there was a very brief and juicy rainstorm, and then they went back out again after it dried because it didn't take too long to dry. We went through 2 different overtimes, and Bubba Wallace held on to win despite the fact that he was worried about not having enough fuel to make it to the end. Turns out he did, and that makes him the first black driver to win at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, which is a huge moment. That gets him into the playoffs, and yeah, he's not worried about the cut line anymore.
That was an awesome win. I'm so happy for him. I love that he talked his shit afterwards too. So yeah, people have been saying a lot of things, and yeah, it's all just a bunch of noise. And I'm glad I got to prove him wrong.
Exactly. Held his baby up to the crowd in like a Lion King ass moment. That was so funny. What are you doing?
That was so funny. Hey, don't do it again. Is this why you lock your cats out of your room?
Well, I don't have a door on my office, so they are just welcome to come in here, but yeah.
What are the racists on Facebook going to do now? God, the posts were bad.
Fake win.
Fake win, and NASCAR's just pushing Bubba too much. All this other stuff. Hey, come over here.
Yeah. It was good. It was nice to see, I don't know, a driver on like a dry streak come through, particularly someone like Bubba, who is
100 races winless.
Yeah, 100 races winless.
Broken.
Yeah, it's very cool. Got a crown jewel. That's a good motivation, I think, for him, and a good feather to have in his cap.
Woke
to help
car
him
again?
just
That's
feel
so
better
funny.
about life. Speaking of woke car, Catherine Legg P17, baby.
Hells yeah. I love that we're getting woke.
Fucking beautiful. So Catherine Legg gonna live fast, put that car where it did not belong, in the top 20.
Purely emotional. It was great from everyone, from his team, all the other drivers congratulating him. His burnout was sick. He made news on ESPN, on CNN front page. That was awesome.
Yep. Shocking. Only the fans are the ones who don't like this guy. I was so stressed. I was
stressed. Kyle Larson was definitely up his ass.
Yeah, if he gets passed by Kyle Larson, I'm gonna freaking riot. I'm gonna nothing, no shame to Kyle Larson. It's just he's had his moment. So back off.
Yeah, I took a nap at the beginning of stage 1. I slept for 2 hours and came back, and I think we had 16 laps left, which still took an hour because we had the yellow flag and the red and all this other stuff, and I was like, oh, I should have just slept longer. This is what I'm saying. It's just 36 races. I don't need to watch the entirety of even one race. I'm just coming back in at the end.
I like that that one guy says, my only complaint is that it wasn't with one of his more iconic schemes. Chris, after the race, was like, it was the fucking Chumba Casino car.
Yeah.
Just 45 minutes after everything happened, not the Chumba Casino car.
wonder what that merch is going to be looking like, too. Oh, I like that you wrote about the in-season tournament. Okay, so
Yeah.
I think they interview Bubba after his burnout, waiting for, his wife and his kid were there. And then they
Yeah.
cut to the fucking Steve, one of the Steves, the commissioner of NASCAR, with Ty Gibbs in front of the pagoda at the brick line to this in-season challenge thing. And I was like, what are we... I feel like this should have been done better, because I feel like we're taking away from Bubba here. And
Yeah.
we're cutting to, like, Steve's there for this propaganda of an in-season challenge. This is insane. You don't want to be with Bubba? I wonder why.
Yeah, it was weird. Ty Gibbs won the $1 million that's gonna go to his team. I'm maybe it'll be interesting next year. Me and Chris were talking about this. Chris thinks it's gonna take a couple of years for this to like have any sticking power and be actually interesting. And I said next year I want it to come down to two guys in the final race. I want it to come down to Ross Chastain, and I want it to come down to Carson Hocevar, and I want to see shit hit the fan.
The wrong tie one? The wrong ties one. What do you have? Only had 2 ties and they didn't need to be there.
200 ties.
And not the one that we wanted. I just can't.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone... Did people care after a while? I think when people remembered that it was happening, people were like, oh, why didn't you talk about this more? People made their brackets. Atlanta happened. People were like, oh my God, the change up. And then it kept going, and then we kept getting more and more said.
Yeah.
And not caring about it.
Well, it's because, I mean, they knocked out every driver that I think people cared about, like, from the fucking get-go, because the race was just so chaotic and nigh a perfect bracket anywhere to be found after that. So I think that, like, just kind of killed people's interest, because then it was like, well, I don't even have anything, like, I don't have a stake in this anymore, because I'm done now. Like, round 1, we're out. And that kind of kills the interest. So if it was more predictable of a race, maybe people would have cared more. But like then it gets down to a bunch of guys that are like, all right, time to see who's gonna win the championship. They're battling for 25th right now. I don't fucking care.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe it will be interesting. I don't know. The seeding could have been done a lot better. But what are you gonna do, eh? Anyway, we're talking about the playoffs. We have 4 regular season races remaining, and there are 3 spots left in the playoff 16 to go. So if you finish below P16, you are not doing it. You basically need to win to get in. Above the cut line, we have Tyler Reddick with plus 138, Alex Bowman plus 63, and Chris Buescher plus 42. Below the cut line, Ryan Preece minus 42, Kyle Busch minus 81, Ty Gibbs minus 95, and AJ Allmendinger minus 124. But we have a variety of fun tracks coming up next: Iowa, Watkins Glen, Richmond, and Daytona. So guys like AJ Allmendinger are really staking their hopes on something like Watkins Glen to get them up, potentially win and get in. So it should be interesting moving forward the next couple weeks.
Yeah, I like the variety of tracks, and that's why we keep road courses anyway.
Yes.
IndyCar was at Laguna Seca, and it was normal, unfortunately, unlike the last season finale that was there.
Shocking. Alex Palou won from pole.
Who saw that coming? Not me.
Yeah.
What a
certainly not me.
Barn burner.
The battle with Pato O'Ward turned out to be no battle at all. But we did have Christian Lundgaard and Colton Herta on podium. Some fuel saving for Scott Dixon and Colin Isla made 4 very successful races for the 2 of them. Dixon qualified 19th and finished 5th, and Colin Isla qualified 24th and finished 6th. So they did a really great job. They pitted on lap 12 for an extremely off-sequence stop, and they both had to save an immense amount of fuel during the middle stages of the race in order to hold those positions. But it was great. Colin Isla did very well. Like to see Prima doing it. They're the only non-chartered team, so good for them. But we also
this is something to be mad about.
This does IndyCar know how to throw a yellow? Like, this is my takeaway from this weekend. Rinus VeeKay at one point ends up beached in the gravel, and IndyCar allowed all of the green flag pit stops to finish before throwing the yellow. Pissed me off. But then lap 77, we have another situation. Marcus Ericsson spun on his own, was facing the wrong way on the track, and it stayed green for 90 seconds as cars were flying by him. In the first instance, IndyCar has made it very clear that they like to give everyone the level footing or whatever of pit. Everyone gets to pit before they throw the yellow and they, screw things up. I hate that. Um, I also dislike with Ericsson what they did was their
That was
explanation was that
bad.
yeah, their explanation was that they were giving him time to get restarted and then get back on the track. But I was like, there are cars coming at him,
It was
right?
blind,
There are
according to like
cars.
Pato's like on board. I saw that. And I was like, you
Yeah,
can't even see him till last minute.
yeah. There's no avoiding that. If he does get started and gets into the actual like further onto the track, that's going to be a problem. I was very, very frustrated that there was like everyone was so worried about freaking F1 being too cautious, and then IndyCar is just like, fuck it, we don't care. What are we doing?
I think in his radio, are they saying like? I guess I don't know what information that they had. Of course, back to I
Yeah.
mean, if I'm going to stick by one discussion, stick by this discussion. Did they know that Marcus was trying to restart the car and he could he not? Like, what was going
I'm
on?
not sure,
Or
but
was
like
just
with
not
the
he's
hybrid,
not
it was
comfortable
that,
also
yeah.
restarting because he doesn't know what's coming.
Yeah. You're driving directly into oncoming traffic on a blind corner. I don't know. It really bothers me. The waiting for the pit cycle really bothers me. I don't know. It I don't think Alex Palou was gonna lose anyway. Um, even if we had like cut the pit cycle in half with a yellow flag. But I think it just pisses me off. Like it's just so stupid. It's such a stupid idea. Like why are we doing this? Why are we
Yeah.
it feels the problem is that the race result was not satisfying and it felt manipulated.
Pearl says what the broadcast mentioned his team was talking to him through restarting the car. I don't know if it was known to race control at the time. And yeah, it was interesting because I heard Will Buxton, Townsend, and Hinch all were like, why is Indy not throwing the yellow? And I was like, are you allowed to say
Yeah.
this on broadcast? Like, what are they doing? Why are they not throwing the
Yeah.
yellow? There should be a yellow. And I was like,
There should be. You're right, fellas.
we agree for the first time in a long time, fellas.
Yeah.
They should have thrown the
I don't
yellow.
know. It was very like I can't even to put into words what pissed me off about it just because all of it pissed me off so much. They didn't throw the yellow in a specifically very dangerous situation. Even VK, where he was buried in the gravel,
Mm-hmm.
was in a place where a car could have very easily collided with him. Um, again, that would have been the first, like again, like I mentioned before with F1, these open wheel cars are designed for like a hit and then they're fine. And then after that, if you get hit a second time, that's when injuries and things happen. So both of these guys, like neither of them hit anything, so it would have been, I guess, okay. But like you don't want to see I don't want to see someone
Yeah.
colliding head on with Marcus Ericsson because race control didn't throw yellow and someone thought that they could get on the outside of someone else at that corner and realized, oh shit, there's a fucking car here. What are we doing?
EJ from YouTube is asking, still relatively new to IndyCar, how is Alex Palou so much better than everyone else and mostly equal machinery?
Alex Palou is just a better driver. That's like
That's it.
that's literally kind of what it is. If you look at his previous record as he was working his way up through the ranks, I think he did a little bit of European open wheel and then went over to Japan. He was all right. But he learned a lot that I think has really played into his success, particularly as we've gotten into this hybrid era. Chip Ganassi has been fantastic as a team. Technically, all of the cars are the same, but Chip Ganassi just has a certain level of preparation and excellence, I think, that other teams can lack because they have a lot more resources. So if prior to Alex Palou, we had Scott Dixon, who was winning everything, great at fuel strategy, great at tire strategy, great at managing a race and winning. But Alex Palou is just on another level. It is insane that like the best driver in American open wheel right now is a dude from Spain that no one gives a fuck about.
Sad.
I know.
He's great. I love when I turned on the IndyCar. I think I texted Elizabeth this in my SO watching. He's like, is Alex Palou just that much better than everyone else? And I was like, yup. And he's like, good for him.
Yeah. It's so, I don't know. Like you just watch him and it's like he doesn't make mistakes. And then you got people like Colton Herta where it's like it's not always his fault that mistakes happen, but
Yeah. Slew of bad
if
luck.
it, yeah, everything goes wrong for someone like Colton Herta. And that comes down to the fact that Chip Ganassi as a team is well prepared and Alex Palou as a driver is well prepared. So I don't know what Andretti needs to do to get itself sorted out, but yeah, Alex Palou is just that good. He's also a very nice boy.
Just a chill guy. Just a chill little guy.
Yeah.
Just wants to race his cars. It's a dorky rates freak. Complimentary.
Yeah, exactly.
What is on this weekend? We have the F1 Hungarian Grand Prix.
And then summer break. So if you're like, I'm so tired of Formula One, great news.
I'm just tired of these
It's a-
shit takes, dude. I'm
almost
not even of
over.
shit takes. I'm tired of how people discuss takes. It's so angry.
Yeah.
And there's like so many little things with motorsports. It's not like you can bitch about Josh Allen having a bad whatever and then like this wide receiver not getting the yards that they need or fucking Aaron Judge or Austin Well. Like there's all these like stats you can get from football and baseball that are really specific and down to numbers. And you can be like, well, let's compare this, blah, 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 done. But like F1, it's so nuanced. And it's hard. Like, again, I am constantly learning about how to like look at a situation. Last night, learning about the pearly white tires and all this other stuff, and then people just come on there and be like, "This race was stupid. FIA race director Rui Marquez needs to be fired. What a fucking pussy!" And I was like, first of all, why are you calling this race director a pussy? Because he wants to be safe. Like we're calling people who want safety in racing pussies now. God
Yes.
forbid something.
I mean,
happens
we
to some
have
driver.
been.
And it's just like there's no room for gray area. They think it's black and white when that is not what motorsports is.
Yeah.
It is such a gray area, and there's so many little details and variables and like 100 other things, and everyone just wants the clicks and the yells, and I'm just
Yeah.
like,
But this is like my favorite part of motorsport is the fact that it is so nuanced because you can watch the race
We
and
like it.
understand it. Yeah, I like it.
I don't want to
think
talk
it's
about it with
great.
you. I don't
Me
want to
with
talk about it with anyone else.
with my fully formed frontal lobe thinks it's fantastic. Unlike others who may not quite be there yet. I don't know. Nuance is a good thing.
Yeah, but it doesn't lead itself
Embrace
to
it.
like mass discussion on the internet. Like, I guess this happens in all sports, right? But motorsport specifically, I think, gets even harder to discuss in like broad generalizations of like people saying Lance Stroll sucks. It's like, okay, we can. I'm a hater, but like we can dig into that a little bit more. He doesn't really completely suck.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, Lance Stroll's a wet weather specialist because he did well in 2 races in the rain. And I was like, okay, what about all those races he didn't do well in the rain?
Yeah.
It's like there's like all these like things to go back and forth on. It's not that easy to be like, oh, look at this.
Yeah.
And it's hard. And even then those tracks, they're different kinds of tracks. So what tracks is he good at in the rain? There's also different asphalt types on fucking racetracks that like soft tires might be better for was it Qatar has a rock from Shropshire, whatever, England. It's a special type of aggregate. And, like we can get really specific and talk about it, but like no one wants to, or like no one gives a shit to. It's too much reading.
It is.
It's too much like, oh, I gotta understand all this technicality stuff. I'd rather just yell that the race was shitty and we should fire everybody involved. And it's like,
Yeah.
then you're not having a discussion. You just want this to be WWE.
Yeah. So anyway, Hungary coming up. Fun, cool trophy. One of the best, I think the best out of all of them every year. And NASCAR at Iowa. We are having our first race with NBC, so we're swapping broadcasters again. Heads up, everyone.
Thank fucking Jesus.
Yeah, we are back to NBC.
Give me Lay Diffie back. I want a good commentary booth again.
Yeehaw.
I'm so excited. I
Yes.
miss him
And
for
we
IndyCar.
have-
I did not appreciate him when we had him. I'm going to be 100% honest. I was like, oh, he'd never leave. He's just a great guy. Like, everyone should be like, everyone's like him.
Yeah, and then he's gone, and now...
It makes me so sad.
Yeah, and we have IMSA this weekend. I believe we have Road America.
When do we have F1 Academy again? Is that...
Oof. Baku, maybe. I'm just making that up.
Netherlands. Zandvoort, August 29th to the 31st. F1 Academy, they'll be racing in Netherlands, Singapore, and Las Vegas. I saw the United States, and I was like, do they mean COTA? I was like, no.
Vegas is going to be fun for them.
Vegas. No, Road America is August. Oh, wait. Is this August 1st this week? Am I crazy?
Yeah. Yeah.
Where has the time gone?
I know. Yesterday, July started, and today it's over.
When's the next WEC race? Oh, September. Jesus. That's nice for people. I guess they get summer break. Formula E. Oh, it's done.
Yeah, Formula E's over.
This man busted in here, stood, said, meow, and then ran away.
Isn't that the best?
Goodbye. Nico Rosberg is the funniest man. I love him now. I was a minor hater, and now I'm in love with him. He's the funniest fucking dude. He causes so much shit and gets paid to do it, and they can't fire him because it's Nico Rosberg, right? Like, he went to Jos Verstappen. Did you see this? Did you see his interview on Sky?
I did see this.
That was the funniest fucking thing I've ever seen.
It was so good.
He's like, "Oh, now you're quiet," and I'm like, "Oh." If we all wanted to say that to Jos Verstappen, that was so fucking funny.
Yeah, someone's got to do it, and I'm glad that he is the someone who's doing it.
So Nico Rosberg walks up to Jos Verstappen on the grid, and he goes, "Oh, what about?" Oh, he asks directly about the Christian Horner thing, and Jos Verstappen goes, "No, I have nothing to say about that." Then Nico Rosberg goes, "Oh, so now you're quiet, or like now you have nothing to say," and
Yeah,
it was so funny.
Yeah,
and I was like,
good.
I was like, this man, not the hero that I wanted, but the hero we need, absolutely. Nico's just saying what we all think, and he can't get in trouble for it. Because what's going to happen? They're going to fire him from Sky, and people are going to like start his YouTube channel and watch him instead because he's so fucking funny, and he knows what he's talking about. Obviously,
yeah.
He's stopped shitting on Lewis Hamilton so much, so I'm a little bit better than that. The Nico Lewis Hamilton beef is hilarious. They're friends, but they act like they aren't. Oh, it's so good.
It's very funny.
It was so funny. I was like, damn.
I remember distinctly, I think it was the 2015 US Grand Prix where it was Hatgate, where like Lewis tossed Nico his hat for the podium finish, and then like Nico threw it back at him.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I remember seeing something of that because my friend and I, we invaded the track after the race and we're like waiting for Amanda Marussia because of course we were. And I like saw something about it and I was like, I'm so glad I'm not online like discussing this because I don't have to see everyone's stupid takes.
Yeah, if Sky fired Nico, he'd get another gig in 5 minutes flat. Yeah, 100%. Like, they can't get rid of him. He's still going to be in your fucking face asking these ridiculous questions. It's so funny.
Yeah, they just put him on a German broadcast or something, and then we'd all still hear about him.
It was the fact that he was just like, "Oh, now you're." I was like, "Oh, that is so good." I was Jos Verstappen fucking hates him now, and I'm for it. Incredible. And also, it's confirmed that Max Verstappen. I guess we should talk about this in early news. Max Verstappen is staying with Red Bull. He's not going to Mercedes. That should have been rapid fire news. I think we just like we're just like over. I'm just like fucking over it.
Yeah. I'm tired.
Talking about what's been clickbaited. This fucking Spa hate has been clickbaited, and the whole Max to Mercedes and all.
It's a lot.
So there's an incredible guy, Chris, who does reaction videos of like the F1 streamers and stuff like that. And I realized, and I was wondering, I was like, why am I not included in a lot of them? And I realized I will never be featured in react. This is no hate to Chris because he's incredible, but he also needs to get views because this is his thing.
Yeah.
The only thing that works is the, oh my God, he did that! What an overtake! And meanwhile, I'm sitting here going like, oh, that was sick by Piastri.
Yeah.
I am just not like that's never been me. I've never been I'll watch sports kind of intently. Like, I'll like pace or like stand like 2 inches in front of the television. But I just can't be like, Lewis Hamilton, oh my God!
Yeah, every time something happens, like, sometimes there's a move where I like audibly am like, oh my God. But most of the time, you see it, I don't know, you see it coming. It's not like they just appear out of nowhere.
They were getting an exorcism on stream. Like, I just like don't I can never do the Mr. Beast, and I'm just like, ugh, is this gonna be my downfall? That I'm just not like
Yeah, you can't have a conniption at every possible
fucking 33
moment.
years old. Who acts like that? Like, I just like don't understand.
I'm a grown woman.
I'm just you're like, oh my God, Piastri with the best car passes someone who has a worse car? No way! Like, I just
It's tough. It's tough out there.
It's fucking ugh. Can I make those thumbnail faces like a real YouTuber?
I'd rather die.
I talk about this with Elizabeth because obviously I'm like, Elizabeth, you need to get on like the YouTube shorts, like you're pushing it out there with the reels, and I'm like, Elizabeth, we gotta jazz it up, right? And it's just like, no, like I just
Nah. You see, Chris and I have this conversation all the time because he's like, you should do more of the content creation and like, I don't know, more of the reaction of it. And it's like, I just can't. Like, that's the problem. I can't. Maybe one day I will get to that point. But at this point in my life, I'm like, I have a perspective based on history and opinion and nuance and thought, and people don't want to see that.
I really wish I don't know how to do this call out on socials. Be like, look, if you want the reaction content, if you want that excitement while you're watching, great. There's so much of that for you. If you don't, and you just want to sit here and chill and be like, oh wow, that was a good overtake, or be like, oh my god,
Yeah.
or be like, oh no, please come into this stream.
I'm here, I promise.
I don't know how to like say that online because that won't push to the algorithm. Because I'm not like, do you hate over aggressive reactions? Come into the stream for 3 easy payments of $0 a month. Just or I can do like an ASMR video where it's like, do you like F1 commentary? Please join the stream if you like people.
Yeah. Just clip this part and put it out there.
Oh, just cat content. Oh yeah. Wait, he has a little crinkle. Oh, this will be perfect. Wait, chat. Wait a second. Do you like Formula One cars? do you enjoy ASMR?
I can't hear this crinkle at all.
Oh, it's the Zoom like sound, whatever. What else can I do? I love racing. Because it's so loud. I will chant Oscar's name during an overtake sometimes. When I have roommates, I have to keep it relatively chill.
Oscar PP.
I mean,
That's usually what we
excited.
say.
I think I get semi-excited. I feel like my watch-alongs are fun, but then I see the reaction content and I see other people's stuff, and I'm like, I honestly could never.
The only time I've ever felt like literally yelling in reaction to something was Abu Dhabi 2021.
Oh my god.
That I think was it. That and the Indy 500. I will on my feet yelling about that. But that's the Indy 500. F1 has never made me feel that way.
I'm dying. EJ says, please give us one stream where you just sacrifice all integrity and do this.
No.
Bates says they have to warn us, though. That's so funny. Just one watch along. Just. Yeah, and there's that thing, if you just want to be entertained, that's fine. There's different ways to watch and enjoy the sport. I like digging into the niche and finding those little bits of where the rock came from this concrete and how they glue down the sand and this fun. Don't chase my hands. How dare you? I'm explaining something. And just, I love those little intense things that like 3 people give a shit about in the entire world.
Yeah. Yeah. Me, I'm one of them. Welcome to our stream.
Moonshot goes, I have a friend who legit loses his shit every time the Dallas Cowboys do anything resembling football. Y'all would hate him. Well, for the Dallas Cowboys, he probably reacts like 30 seconds every 3-hour game, so that's fine. Maybe, honestly, 1 game out of 17. The rest of his stream is probably pretty calm if you're talking about the Dallas Cowboys doing anything that resemble football. Oh my god, the Cowboys are walking on the field. I can make fun of the Cowboys because I'm a Jets/New York fan. I'm a Jets fan first, and then I'll root for the Giants, but they absolutely blow. Our quarterback our Jets quarterback immediately got injured during practice, Elizabeth. We have a whole cast of characters, and I would say Justin Fields is a fucking character.
Yeah.
And, God, we're really slumming here with our quarterbacks with the Jets. Immediately, one got injured. And then for the New York Giants, his first was 6-on-6. Was a 11-on-11 was a pick 6, excuse me. So immediately just fucked up the first pass of the fucking practice. So it's not going well for New York football.
I don't know what any of that means.
Perfect.
I watch one football game a year. It's the Super Bowl.
At least you don't have any Aaron Rodgers anymore. Dude, get that guy away from a microphone. Sorry about your quarterback, Ash. Thanks, Bates. I appreciate that. It's just not going well. The Yankees are giving me nothing right now. PWHL, New York Sirens, Professional Women's Hockey League, lost all my favorite players in a draft. Yankees are giving me nothing right now. They they won one Phillies game. Aaron Judge is on IR, whatever. All I got is the New York Liberty. That's all I got. All I got is my WNBA team. God knows what the Knicks are doing. We'll see what their coach does. That's all they need. It's rough being a New York sports fan. It's rough.
It's tough out there.
I had no idea Canadian football only had 3 downs. Wild. Wait, what? That's weird. I guess it is Canadian. They don't know how to count up there. I'm just kidding. I joke.
They can only
We
count
love
to
Canada.
3.
They can only count to 3. Okay, I'm done complaining. Sorry. Sometimes I need to get things off my chest. And when Elizabeth's here, it's like I'm catching up with a friend. So it's like once a week we get on this call, and I'm just here chatting with Elizabeth, and you guys just happen to be here in the same room.
Can listen in.
We do it in 3. What takes Americans 4? That's fucking true. EJ says Chicago fan. It hurts. I'm excited for, if you didn't know this, their Hard Knocks is following, I think, the Buffalo Bills during their practice for their episodes. That should be really fun. I love Josh Allen. I think I like Josh Allen. I actually should Google him.
What that is.
It's a documentary type show that they release kind of in real time, following a football team.
Okay.
Which is kind of fun.
Makes sense.
And it's not a podcast, it's a motorsport therapy session. That's true.
Right.
Damn straight. I think my cat was like, "Why were you yelling?" I'm just like, "Please, are you okay?" I'm okay, buddy.
You just gotta yell more. I yell all the time at Chris. Like, not in a mean way, but like, that's just my standard of communication. So the cats have all quite gotten used to it.
Hi, baby. No, we're chill here. Like, we get excited when cool things are happening, but also, like, I'm not... It's the mouth agape.
I just yell about
my
other
jaw
stuff.
can't do that. And, like, do they like crack it and, like, do, like, the...
They get, I don't know, Botox in there and they can open it farther or something.
Oh my God, does that work?
I have no idea.
Oh, the Will
My
Buxton
stepdad got
reaction.
it.
Oh yeah, the Will You know, okay. This is such a dumb thing to be mad about, and I will admit this is so stupid. What I'm about to say, I want to admit I know this is dumb. They had Will Buxton do a hot lap. Well, he was in the passenger seat, but in a hot lap for Laguna Seca, and they did the corkscrew, and he was like, "Oh my God, I didn't realize the drop was that much." And I was like, "My brother in Christ, yeah, it's fun, but it's Jesus Christ, you're in a car, you're fine." Also, how did you not know? You've been a motorsport commentator for decades.
I don't like Davide Valsecchi. I can't stand Davide Valsecchi. I cannot. Sorry, everyone.
You know whose
It's just too
reactions?
much.
Former Italian. What is he on?
He does F1 TV every so often.
Oh,
Yeah.
Why do I not? And like pre-race and post-race shows.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe that's why I don't.
And then
see him.
they'll like toss to him like during sessions, and he'll like talk about the cars coming by. Oh my God, I hate that. I hate that so much. I hate it. I can't stand it.
I think it was fun was interviewing someone, but I don't. I got no thoughts about it. Is there any commentary Fox put him up to it, Ash? Oh, probably. They probably told Will Buxton to like ham it up a little bit for the camera. That's a good point. I still don't like it.
I think Fox is smelly, and they're not doing a good job.
I think you need to have a good balance. I think if everyone's doing the reaction thing, it's too much in the booth. If there's someone who's like calm, someone who's excited, like I think it's a good like play on each other because like the excited person will get the calm person more excited and like they'll balance
But
each
the
other.
problem is that the excited people just yell over the calm people.
Mm.
And then you've got fucking Will Buxton talking for their 45 minutes on the like final 2 laps, creating some sort of monologue in one breath.
Ash just started no reaction video trend.
That's a great idea. Yeah, that just happened.
Do I say anything though? Am I like
Only in
It's a good
monotone.
that was a good overtake by Piastri?
Was it a good overtake? That was an overtake.
That was an overtake. Oh, he's coming in for a pit. That was a pit stop. Just neat. Okay. Makes you sound like one of those like AI whatever things that just like have to respond to a character. Like just a total NPC moment. Snakes goes, I love this sentence. I'd rather Will Buxton comes over Townsend Bell give Shit-Tony for Chokey a sloppy toppy. What a sentence that's never been uttered out loud.
That's a unique phrase.
You cannot Google that.
Not the sloppy toppy.
What a combination of words. I never thought. Our forefathers were like, wow, we should really just...
When William Shakespeare invented English, he could only have imagined.
William Shakespeare rolling in his grave right now.
No, William Shakespeare's going, why didn't I think of that?
Damn, I should have put that. Et tu, Brute?
Perfect in Julius Caesar.
Sloppy toppy, Le Senate. How dare you? I just can't. Wild comms, but I completely agree. Who saw that coming? Not me. Not I. Brand new sentence right there. When you used to Google something for the first time brand new, right, when it didn't have results, that was always called something, and that's that sentence. 100%. I'm going to work soon and going to try to work in sloppy toppy into the day somewhere. That's an HR problem. Yeah, I don't know how you're going to work that out.
The new phrases you learn here should not be used in your place of work. Sorry.
Yeah, tell someone they probably have a CTE and that's why they can't understand your fucking emails. Let's see how that works out for you. JSR being English makes the outlandish vocabulary of that sentence not surprising. Agreed. I would like to say it was Snakes' birthday, I believe, yesterday or Sunday. So Snakes, happy belated birthday by a couple.
Happy Snakes Day.
Happy Snakes Day. I'm glad you were born.
So
what, 22 years ago? 23? How old are you? What are you?
1 year old.
12? Like, what's the? Who's the sloppy toppy? Seriously. So, sir, why did you actually say the term sloppy toppy? Oh, I meant sloppy copy of this document here, sir. Absolutely. Snakes have a happy belated birthday due to 7. No, Snakes is going to kick all of your asses in the Discord. He's going to ban all of you immediately.
23. What's it like to be a baby?
What's it like to be just a little guy?
So small.
He's just a little dude. Happy birthday. Oh, from EJ. Oh, that's really sweet, guys. Hey, guys, thanks for letting us have our therapy session. Ankle pick these. Yeah, it's pretty good, actually. We should all ankle pick Snakes when we meet him. Chad, thanks for hanging out with us. Elizabeth, thank you for your time. Elizabeth, what do you have this week coming out for the fam?
No podcast this week. I'm debating whether or not I want to start. I've been thinking about this idea about how F1 drivers today they have less mystique than they did in the past. And I'm reading a Jochen Rindt biography, and I think it's just because Jochen Rindt just made shit up. And you could get away with it back then, and you could just tell people that you won every race you ever entered because no one was ever going to double check. So I'm working on something on that, but I'm still like chewing it over. So stay tuned, but also follow my social media because I'm posting little bits from that book, such as Helmut Marko and him being buddies, tying each other to cars and skiing around at 45 miles an hour.
So like say social media makes every one of them in the spotlight nonstop.
Yeah, that's the problem. Like you just can't. I don't think I need to know that much about all of these guys, and yet I do, and it's my job too.
Yeah, I guess I need to watch the driver press conferences and stuff like that because I feel like we don't talk a lot about like their stats or their racing or like what I would I don't know. Let me find that out more. I don't really care about like what their favorite color is or some people do, which is fine. I'm just like whatever.
The problem with asking about their racing and stuff and their stats is that they never have a fun or interesting answer that's going to click well. That is the problem.
Yeah. Just don't do baseball level statistical nonsense, but I love baseball level statistical nonsense. It's so fun. Let me get in there. Me and one other person find that kind of shit interesting for F1. But yeah. Make sure again if you're if you're new and you don't know or if you just need to be reminded, again when you click on an article, mostly Elizabeth's article, do this for her the most. But leave it open. Journalists, not only is it clicks, but how long you spend on the article. Even though you read really, really fast, leave it open for a couple extra minutes just so it logs on that you've read and you're interacting. You're like, you're really into it. That's a pro tip. I just have my Instagram stuff. TikTok pissed me off, so I'm not a fan of it. I'm just whatever about it. What am I doing? I'll do a Hungarian Grand Prix watch along, which is always fun. If you like calm watch alongs where we're not yelling all the time. If you know anyone who would prefer a calm environment, it's still fun. I'm not saying it's boring. I'm just saying I'm not yelling.
We're just out here straight chilling.
We're just out here straight chilling. Me and my cat. Look at him. He's so cute. You can't see him. You can't look at him right now, but he's such a cutie patootie right now. He's just all splooged out on the bed. It's so fun. So
he's so cute.
He's so cute. So just think about it. Hang out with me and my cat and chat. And if you don't know something, that's cool too. Chat's really smart. If I don't see your question or don't know, chat will answer it. Or otherwise, I'll Google it and we'll learn together. That's always one of my favorites. What else do I have? I got videos coming out on Instagram. If you're on Instagram, it'd be great if you can just like and comment if that's your thing. If you don't, I'm not gonna force you to. Who am I? Who am I to tell you what to do?
I'm gonna come to your house and point a gun at you until you like and comment on her videos. And share them with all of your friends.
God, talk about an overreaction. Jesus. No, we don't do funny faces, but we come and threaten you. I have a new YouTube video out about the Belgian Grand Prix review a little bit. Get into depth about what I learned about wet weather tires and all the other stuff. So if you have a YouTube channel, or if you're on the YouTube watching, you can check that out, see what your thoughts are. We do talk about a lot of things besides just racing during the race. Sometimes the race is really long and nothing's going on, so I'll talk about the Yankees or other sports, and we have some fun topics at hand. Yeah. Otherwise, I hope everyone has a great day. I'm watching Department Q on Netflix. I feel like I'm behind. I feel like a lot of people told me to watch that, but now I am watching it. It's pretty good, so if you're looking for something to watch.
The first time I've ever heard of that.
Oh, really? A lot of people were telling me to watch, and I saw it online. I am also chronically online. That's my next issue. I should get out and touch more grass.
I also am chronically online, but I feel like I'm like chronically online 3 months ago, where I'm getting the trends that happened like forever ago popping up, and I'm like, oh, I heard about this. I finally saw the video.
Thank you, Jay. I appreciate that. Slow Horses and Apples, fantastic, because of Gary Oldman. I do love Gary Oldman. Yeah, there's certain actors that I just love. If I see an actor, Sterling Knight, I think he's a phenomenal actor. And I saw some Hulu TV show that he was like the face of, and I was like, what the fuck is this crap? I'm only watching it because he's in it, and he makes it so good. He's such a good actor, and it's the only reason I'm watching it. So yeah, chronically online, but still touch grass. Pro tips. Support local, including your local racetracks. Drink water. Take your meds. Go outside from time to time. I know it's blazing fucking hot out everywhere, but please, to your best ability, please go outside and hang out.
Read a fiction book.
Read a fiction book. Use your imagination a little bit.
Develop some empathy for someone who's not you.
I think donate to PBS and NPR if you can. That'd be great. I think my homework, if you guys would allow, do something creative. Drawing, painting.
Yeah. Something creative that you don't normally do.
Yeah, just have some fun. We've been saying bye for like 20 minutes. Yeah, because I'm Eastern European, Sal. You think Polish? You think your mom ever said goodbye in like 2 seconds? No.
Absolutely not.
You think Elizabeth's mom ever said goodbye? Develop empathy for D's? I'm going to shove D's up your butt. Does developing empathy for my reflection count? Yes. I wish they just Irish goodbye, y'all. No, I like saying goodbye. I like goodbye. It's good to say so, because sometimes you're like, oh, I need to drink some water. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. I do gotta take some meds.
You've been watching us for 2 hours already. What's another 20 minutes going to kill everyone?
Yet. No one's forcing you here. I'm not at your house with the gun yet.
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 Bye, everyone. Fine,
Bye.
We'll leave. Here's the ending soon. I'll still talk.
Later, nerds.
Look, that's some drinking water ASMR for you. How's that? How's that for a send-off? This is all Sal's fault. We're all leaving because Sal was like, you guys should go now. Like, you're not at work.
Never leave.
Secret Ingredient, thank you so much for the 41 months. Parrot, again, thank you so much for the 25. And Be Afraid, thank you for the follow, by the way. Goodbye, everyone. So long, farewell. See you on Sunday. I do. Do you and you Yankees suck? Suck these. It's an Aaron Judge to your house. Tell him he sucks. See how that works out for you. Dude's like 6'4". Absolutely going to homer your head into the next fucking baseball stadium by your house.
Destroyed.
Don't talk about my captain like that. 99 is actually the number of people he's killed. That's what his number stands for. Don't threaten him. Don't make it 100. Bye, everyone.